The ice-cold Lin Yingmei descended from the heavens, streaking into the middle of strength star Lu Yu's Qilin ensnaring heaven as a meteor. Then, she used illusory spear technique. Each attack she wielded had an extremely cold airflow that pervaded more than 100 li. After a split second, the bright moon longevity palace was already completely frozen. A world of ice and snow became an extremely frigid glacier. The world was entirely of bone-chilling ice cold. A cold wind rustled in the air. Lin Yingmei drew back her spear. She straightened her back, her snowy eyes clear and cold. Lu Yuyu's whole body was stained with cold frost. Her body slightly shivered, whether it was because of the extreme cold or some other reason. Although they were similarly earth-rank techniques in contest, Lu Yuyu's was already the second she used, so how could she have compared to Lin Yingmei? She was at a great disadvantage. Not bad, your servant has not come to this Liangshan in vain. Lu Yu laughed. To have been with a true Phoenix Senior has allowed your servant to greatly benefit. Lin Yingmei said, then good. Future trials still await you, however, your servant still stands here right now. Lu Yu hefted her golden Qilin lance, and her whole body was soaked in golden light, washing away the ice and frost. A particularly eye-catching dot of golden light manifested in the world of ice and snow. There was no need for any more words. Lin Yingmei understood that Lu Yuyu's intentions. As the most top-notch martial general, perhaps, defeat was the best ending. Their attack was carried out in that instant. At practically the moment that metal weapons rang, Lu Yuyu's golden Qilin lance and Lin Yingmei's Arctic Star Serpent Spear clashed and gave rise to an enormous impact. The entire glacier shuddered, and the frozen mountain scenery crumbled under their power. Lu Yuyu's lance swung, and the airflow on the lance concentrated into a sharp killing intent, tearing the air to shreds, directly storming over. The air warped. The baleful aura was shattered. Lin Yingmei suddenly vanished, drawing a trail of phantoms. When she reappeared, there was a brief blinding moment. Her spear already stabbed towards Lu Yuyu. Lu Yuyu raised her lance to parry this direct slash. Hey! The spear abruptly vanished. Lin Yingmei already broke through to right in front of Lu Yuyu. There was an air-splitting gleam, an explosive killing intent. Lu Yuyu tumbled backwards. The corner of Lin Yingmei's mouth curled. Her silhouette leapt, faster than a meteor. Lu Yuyu's eyes nevertheless were blinded. A profoundly deep curve spread across the corner of her lips. Gathering the last of her strength, the lance continuously swept forth. Lin Yingmei remained indifferent, far colder than that 1,000-year black ice. Her whole body's aggression had a completely opposite change. Her figure arrived before Lu Yuyu, the spear fighting back. Passing through the ice-cold light the weapon emitted, Lu Yuyu could clearly see Lin Yingmei, but transmitting from the other side of the spear really was not a prideful determination or fury. Rather, there was an impenetrable serenity, and a kind of calm that was as if she was lifting weights. The true Phoenix realm Lu Yuyu already was unable to match Lin Yingmei's battle rhythm. This is interesting. Lu Yuyu lifted her gaze. Her eyes looked at Su Xing, uttering a low chuckle as she launched a wildly swelling assault. Lin Yingmei took several steps, whirling as if she was dancing, sprinkling chunks of ice. Lu Yuyu's silhouette was instantly in front of Lin Yingmei. She slashed without leaving any leeway, and in the midst of a shattering sound, Lin Yingmei seemed to have been struck. Her figure was ripped apart, subsequently vanishing. A soft laugh came from behind her, and Lin Yingmei suddenly appeared. Lu Yuyu's reactions were extremely quick. She spun around and blocked, a firelight streaking across the lance. At the same time she retreated, how could she have anticipated that the girl would raise her arm? Ice-cold killing intent flowed out from the crack between Lin Yingmei's fingers. Lu Yuyu's surroundings froze. Not good. Lu Yuyu felt grave danger. Lin Yingmei disappeared, and reappeared not even half a second later. This time, Lin Yingmei's spear stabbed into Lu Yuyu's body. The extremely cold spear penetrated her outer layer of skin, penetrating deeply into her bones and organ systems. Lu Yuyu grit her teeth. Shouting, she shook Lin Yingmei while she still lived, but although Lin Yingmei withdrew, the majestic star's attack was not done yet. Several streams of cold wind streamed around Lu Yu's body in succession. A kind of extreme chill seeped into her soul, and Lu Yu felt her body incapable of budging. This is over. The young girl flashed by, and when she appeared, she had already ducked away from Lu Yu's line of sight. A bone-chilling voice pervaded the air. The palace, the mountain, and the sky all froze. Everything froze, even thought itself. Lu Yu stared dumbstruck at this cold spear that had run through her chest. The nearby Lin Yingmei's scorching hot breath was clearly visible. That pair of impressive, arousing ice spirit eyes filled Lu Yu with moving charm. Everything is over, Lu Yu muttered. Following Lin Yingmei pulling back her spear, Strength Star Jade Qilin's body disintegrated, turning into a trace of true spirit that disappeared into the distance. Lin Yingmei looked in the direction of Maiden Mountain. Her ice-blue hair slowly regained its glossy black color, and the ice and snow surrounding the majestic star's body also slowly subsided. A wide chest brought Lin Yingmei into his embrace. In the world of ice and snow, it carried a particular warmth. "Young master," Lin Yingmei whispered, losing all of her strength. "Wife, rest for a bit." Su Xing deep kissed her. So incredible, Guardian Star Su Jingshu drew in a breath. That was the majestic star's Earth rank technique. Even Su Jingshu, who was overconfident beyond reason, did not have a perfect chance to face an Earth rank. Little me, Humi pondered, her beautiful brow furrowed. She truly did not expect that the Purple Thunder Monsters party would surprisingly actually topple the first overlord. "Little me, what do we do?" Su Ning asked her. Now, the Purple Thunder Monsters group had gone through the 10 great sects encirclement of the Bright Moon Longevity Palace and the First Overlord. They were already completely drained, arrows at the end of their path. Humi believed that she could take the advantage if she acted now, but this advantage was completely meaningless. The Purple Thunder Monster possessed the Jade Pendant and could flee as he pleased. If she was unable to definitively kill him, it was actually unwise to start a feud. Let alone that the Purple Thunder Monster's companions were honestly too strange. Heaven knew what other trump cards they had. For the first time, Humi did not have confidence. What made the fairy of the Purple Firmament Immortal Palace even more cautious was that Gong Kaiwei and Shiyu both stood at the Purple Thunder Monster's side, in spite of the life or death of the Star Masters. Humi did not understand their conduct, giving rise to curiosity within her heart. There is a mystery within. Perhaps joining the Purple Thunder Monster is not bad, but Humi sees that the Purple Thunder Monster is a lecher. Su Ning. Let us go. Humi made her decision. Su Jingshu looked at the Lin Yingmei laying against Su Xing's chest, envious and resentful, her heart brooding. Next time, your servant will accompany you. Humi manifested purple smoke, and then she dissipated away from this place. Wu Xinjia watched that purple smoke, actually somewhat curious. Xinjia? Wu Xiao had also long monitored Humi. When she noticed that their counterpart had suddenly departed, she was somewhat astonished. Shiyu perhaps was forced back to the immortals' abode by her. That female cultivator is considerably bright. We cannot be neglectful. Wu Xinjia smiled. Su Xing, are you all right? The other girl stepped up and asked with concern. Su Xing nodded to express his agreement. He looked around the ice-cold Bright Moon Longevity Palace. He did not expect the situation would change to this degree. Never expected Maiden Mountain's trial unexpectedly would be an overlord who came down the mountain. We truly were too careless. Wu Xinjia shook her head, guilt emerging in her heart. Yes. Su Xing agreed. Who could have thought that Maiden Mountain's trial was unexpectedly to dispatch past overlords? This practically was the cheat of cheats. Every single one of the past overlords was true Phoenix realm, and with this kind of realm, it was no exaggeration to say they were unhindered. However, this counted as thoroughly bad luck. Originally, they thought they would only have to face the 10 great sects encirclement in the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. How could they have ever foreseen that an overlord would unexpectedly choose this opportunity? Back on topic, those 7 rainbow lights that came out of Maiden Mountain was no more than a short few dozen days ago. According to Wu Xinjia's reckoning, She thought that they still had at least this 1 month. The next overlord cannot be ignored. Shinjia shall go research clearly the past star duel's materials for countermeasures, so as to avoid encountering this kind of unexpected matter. Wu Shinjia muttered, already considering their next plans. Beginning from now to before the 3 heavenly books, all star masters would exploit every kind of opportunity and training to expand their own strength, to make their star generals comprehend Earth rank, and the White Tiger territory that no one ever gone to would be the place everyone sought. However, before this, there was still the treasure banquet. This banquet that occurs once every 50 years was the carnival day for each cultivator. In Gong Kaiwei, many thanks to you for this. Su Xing said to Gong Kaiwei. The Insuan who was currently healing Gong Kaiwei curiously asked, Lady Kaiwei, you seem to have been Super Cluster Peak a few days ago? Now you are Super Void Stage. Has Insuan misremembered? Su Xing was choked upon hearing this. This progress was rather too fast. Princess Kaiwei has perhaps ingested the 1,000-year tears. Wuxinji guessed. Gong Kaiwei nodded. There was nothing to hide. To mention this topic was timely. Gong Kaiwei had inherited Zhu Sha's magic circles, so she was considerably proficient at generating array arts. Before she went to the palace of Empress Hua, she investigated, and afterwards, she inadvertently broke through an array to realize the secret of the palace of Empress Hua once. A transforming star of annihilation-level cultivator entered the palace of Empress Hua and did not reappear ever since after he obtained the 1,000-year tears. Gong Kaiwei surmised that he did not come out after the palace of Empress Hua was sealed shut, borrowing the palace to refine the 1,000-year tears. Thus, Gong Kaiwei did not vie for those 1,000-year tears like the others but instead went in search of his. Her labors were not fruitless, for she actually broke through the concealment array and found them. After hearing Gong Kaiwei's encounter, Wu Xinjie truly was envious. Yan Yizhen had taken many 1,000-year tears from last time, but though these 1,000-year tears were very good, they were too difficult to refine. This was completely dependent on moral character, and even in Suwen the efficacious star divine physician was defeated several dozen times. In addition, for the 1,000-year tears to be able to make a supercluster peak cultivator even jump to super void early stage. Perhaps those 1,000-year tears' age was considerably old. Even if Suwen could refine the 1,000-year tears, if it was not for the age, she could not have advanced by leaps and bounds like Gong Kaiwei. No wonder the knowledge star was impressed. Have you gathered the longevity steel? Gong Kaiwei asked. Su Xing's hand beckoned. That longevity steel that Lu Yuyu had obtained then came to his hand. 9 longevity steels, with Shiyu's one that was missing. I still have to go to the Black Turtle territory to bring Shiyu back. Su Xing pondered. Everyone knew 11 Yu's matters in the Black Turtle territory. To let her stay in the tiger's den alone, he could not be at ease at all. Wu Xinjie and the other girls did not oppose at all. Right, Gong Kaiwei? Do you have any other things? Want to go together with me? Once we collect the 9 longevity steels, we can actually cultivate the longevity cultivation method together. If you do, Su Xing asked. Huh. Gong Kaiwei was astonished. Liked it? Su Xing's words could be said to have rippled Gong Kaiwei's tranquil heart like a stone thrown into a pond. What did you say? Slight fluster appeared in Gong Kaiwei's tone. Let's train in the longevity cultivation method together. I should properly thank you at any rate. Su Xing said matter-of-factly. Gong Kaiwei's eyes slightly widened. She thought she had misheard. This is but the longevity secret art. This was the thing that Liangshan continent's countless people dreamed of obtaining. How could the immortal hero princess restrain herself? I know. Su Xing nodded. What longevity cultivation method? He was far from feeling as shocked about it as she did, but he felt that since this capability could extend life energy, sharing it with Gong Kaiwei and the other girls was no issue. Just as Gong Kaiwei was hesitating, suddenly at this moment, a clap of thunder rolled on the horizon. Thousands of cavalrymen galloped along the earth. Su Xing looked over. Their power was vast. Upon fluttering banners, each and every one was emblazoned with a large Gong character. Seeing this battle formation, Everyone promptly stretched their minds taut. However, upon seeing that Gong character, Gong Caiwei's expression changed. If Su Xing did not remember things wrong, this army ought to be Prince Feng Wu's troops. The Bright Moon Longevity Palace was under Prince Feng Wu's jurisdiction. It was not strange for him to come. As expected, when the cavalry drew near, the leading general cupped his fist. All of the officers then deferentially said, "We pay respects to Princess." "General Hua, why have you come?" Gong Caiwei wrinkled her brow. "The prince knows of the Bright Moon Longevity Palace's matters. We request that Princess and this young lord go before him for a report," that General Hua said. "Su Xing, there is no need for you to go. Caiwei fears father merely wants to know what happened here." Gong Caiwei said. Su Xing shook his head and smiled. "There's no harm in seeing him. I've reduced the Bright Moon Longevity Palace into this appearance, so there must always be an explanation about it." In actuality, Su Xing was quite curious about Gong Caiwei's father. This young lord understands the reason. This general cannot thank you enough. General Hua smiled and breathed a sigh of relief. To invite these fiend stars already left him very frightened and on edge, but the prince's orders were absolute. Still, he had never expected this man to be so easily convinced. Seeing that the princess and he had a relationship that could be said to be intimate, General Hua smiled somewhat ambiguously. Gong Caiwei wrinkled her brow, but she said nothing more. "Wanyue, will you go together with us?" Su Xing asked Hua Wanyue. The hero star's complexion was not particularly good. She only glanced at Su Xing coldly. "Do not forget the bargain you and I have." Su Xing laughed in embarrassment. He did not expect that the hero star would still be concerned about the matter to settle life and death at Bright Moon Longevity Palace. "Don't tell me you really are insisting on, elder sister Wanyue, can we not star duel?" And Suwen smiled. "This is my duty. However, since you have been targeted by the past overlords, I will set it aside for the time being. My star duel with you is nowhere near as pressing as your battles with the overlords. After your trial is completely finished, I will star duel with you for sure." Hua Wanyue spoke with an iron tone, each word not compromising in the slightest, but Su Xing nevertheless heard a graceful tone within. Wu Xinjie and the others could not help but smile. After Su Xing left, the black clouds in the sky cleared, revealing two figures. "It appears that there was no need for you to appear and turn the tide, Chai Ling." Kong Ho mockingly laughed. Noble star little whirlwind Chai Ling held the Persian cat against her chest, pensive. The past overlords. For Maiden Mountain to surprisingly have this kind of trial against Xing'e, this is truly absurd. Kong Ho pursed her lips, casting at her a sidelong glance. That hero star little Li Guang has already begun to follow alongside Su Xing. Do you not feel this scene appears familiar? If you are any slower, your share certainly will be the smallest. Chai Ling was taken aback, and her face turned red. What is elder sister Kong Ho saying? This palace does not place value in attending to Xing'e. Your humble servant did not say anything about attending to him. Kong Ho laughed. Chai Ling was speechless. Just as Kong Ho was about to speak, suddenly, the woman's frivolous gaze flashed with a strict glint. Kong Ho's figure was still where she was, but the air already transmitted an explosion. The cloud layer broke apart, and a majestic woman of glistening gold slowly appeared. She was Thousand Pagoda Star Chao Gai. "I trust you have been well since we last met, Kong Ho." Chao Gai's eyebrows rose. "Mph." Kong Ho grunted coldly. Without seeing her make any movements, Chao Gai suddenly felt a pressure pounce at her. The Thousand Pagoda Star did not dare be neglectful. She raised the heaven-earth dark yellow Thousand Pagoda, which immediately emitted Buddhist light, dyeing the 100-li glacier a golden hue. With a crashing sound, there was an unstoppable imposing aura. Instantly, with Kong Ho as the center becoming a black hole, an insufferably arrogant wind pressure roared in all directions. The light broke. Chao Gai finally showed emotion. Her figure floated, and the heaven-earth dark yellow Thousand Pagoda was raised, suddenly expanding and smashing towards Kong Ho. The world moved, and this gentle strike seemed to split a mountain. Kong Ho caught it with her fists. Her clothes that were light as clouds fluttered, and her whole body resonated. Her beautiful figure brilliantly flew out. An incorporeal defense unfolded, and even if it was Chao Gai's full-power defense, her feet still could not avoid showing being pushed back. Kongho, you are too excitable. Do you take action despite that noble star's delicate body? Chao Gai was grim, her finger pointing. In the air, a golden lotus manifested. A giant golden Buddhist lotus Dharma characteristics appeared behind Chao Gai, its power unfolding. Those powers that were invisible to the naked eye were just like a death god's talons. The already shredded and destroyed halls were torn into even smaller pieces. The mountains and rivers were shaken, and even the sky showed signs of being torn in half. There is no need to worry about this palace then. Chai Ling's gentle smile pierced through the baleful aura. The red ink iron certificate was on her. It released a resplendent light that protected Chai Ling. No matter how tyrannical Chao Gai's attacks were, no matter how vicious Kongho's attacks were, the noble star would not be harmed in the slightest. Your servant has not used the dragon-subduing unbounded in a long time. Kongho smiled, suddenly throwing a punch. This gentle punch made people see not even the slightest bit of strength, but as it turned out, it was a frantic power that tore at one's organs. The heaven-earth dark yellow pagoda was stopped in midair by an unseen force. The 1,000 pagoda's Buddhist light flickered, like a candle flame. Chao Gai was stunned. Gritting her teeth, she could only summon the heaven-earth dark yellow 1,000 pagoda to her front to act as a barrier. The urgent shaking was more fierce and noisy than at any point in time. Each attack made Chao Gai feel a sort of heavy pressure. Her body could not help but be involuntarily pushed back. Not a moment later, she had been moved back several dozen meters. These several dozen meters appeared short, but to the Chao Gai who could move about unhindered in Liangshan continent, this was inconceivable. Bang! Kongho's dragon subduing unbounded was extremely defiant of natural order. Without any excess, its movements were simple to the point of being in a natural state, but it was this force that made even Chao Gai grip with cold sweat. An incorporeal power surged like a river from that fist. The first wave's attack power ended, but the second waves continued to unfold. The Dharma characteristics, the golden lotus flower, everything was washed clean away, defeated without exception. Chao Gai finally was a bit unable to persist. With a boom, the 1,000 pagoda's Buddhist light completely extinguished, and all of its power eroded away. Chao Gai's eyes flashed with a trace of the intention to not concede defeat. Suddenly, the faded Buddhist light magnified. Turning over her palm, she exhibited the universe and the world, suddenly manifesting the 10,000 techniques of the Buddhist kingdom that met the dragon subduing unbounded head-on. Palm of Buddhist kingdom. Chai Ling immediately recognized the background of this power, and her heart was shaken. This kind of ability was one that created void worlds, true Dharma characteristics. This simply was an invincible technique. Now, Chai Ling had no choice but to be prudent. Elder Sister Kongho, it is best to let this go. Do not lower yourself to the same level as Maiden Mountain's watchman. Chai Ling said. Her imposing aura instantly vanished. Kongho retracted her fist, relaxed, and returned to Chai Ling's side, but a glance at Kongho's expression showed it was not friendly at all. The noble star speaks correctly. We are not the enemy. Chao Gai smiled. Similarly, she withdrew the palm of Buddhist kingdom. You make it sound so pleasant. For your Maiden Mountain to unexpectedly dispatch the past overlords to face Su Xing, what star duels do those even count as? Maiden Mountain has behaved quite despicably. This palace is truly ashamed. Chai Ling sneered. Chao Gai shook her head. Maiden Mountain's trials naturally have meaning. If he can make it through this checkpoint, you will be grateful in the future. Ridiculous. Kongho, you believe yourself to be unequaled under heaven, but how can you break that Maiden Mountain's barrier? Chao Gai said. Kongho's relaxed expression chilled. Maiden Mountain, the heaven-supporting pillar. Countless cultivators had tried in the past to pass through that barrier to glimpse the true face of Maiden Mountain, but in reality, even Emperor Liang was merely a trifle before Maiden Mountain, an incomparable sigh. Even you are unable to do so. You ought to know that even if you were at Maiden Mountain, you cannot stir trouble. Chaogai said, This one shall say no more. Whatever happens in these star duels, let us see to what stage that man can reach. Just what are these star duels? Does a flock of major characters find amusement in watching us kill ourselves? Chai Ling was furious. Noble star who is outside of the star duels, there is no need to feel so indignant at injustice. If you truly wish to know, then join the star duels, and you can then naturally understand. Chaogai smiled. She gazed at the horizon, and her figure slowly vanished. The world was left with a calm. Star duels. This palace has decided to participate this time. Chai Ling's eyes flashed with a grim glint. Wait and see. 1,000 li away. In a tranquil bamboo forest, a comfortable bamboo house. A man was above the bamboo forest. He lifted his head to look into the far distance. The sky was filled with red clouds that were currently slowly dimming, as if it was sunset. The radiance was disappearing, leaving desolation. The man handsomely smiled and slightly sighed. Then he counted on his fingers, understanding the situation, mostly. He pondered a bit and dropped into the forest. Passing through the quiet woods, a bamboo house revealed itself. The man walked in, just happening to spot a young woman with long green hair laying atop a table. Her expression appeared somewhat lazy. She lay there dispirited and downcast. Zhu Qing. 3. The man gently called. The woman did not answer. Zhu Qing, next up is our turn to take the stage. The man smiled, speaking warmly. Are you very tired? Fine then, let us rest a bit. However, we still need to go. Perhaps when we accomplish the mission, we can be liberated. The man warmly said. The girl laying on the table seemed to be asleep. Her slim jade arms finally moved. The girl turned her head. She had bright eyes and white teeth, glittering and touching. The girl merely looked at him and softly said, I am so tired, I do not want to participate in the star duels. But these matters pertain to our wish, the man said. Zhu Qing, could it be you want to give up? The man's brow twisted. The Zhu Qing girl did not say anything. Her gaze passed through beyond the man. She stared directly into the bamboo forest. In the wind, the bamboo leaves fell like butterflies, quietly dancing. White Tiger Territory, Begging Spirit Temple. Grandfather Li was currently fanning himself as he sat, watching the winds and clouds. Zijin was nearby as always. The woman was very apathetic. Several rays of light descended around Grandfather Li. Shijio Ying and Song Feng were already nearby, neither saying anything. They each glanced at one another and sat on 2 seats in the Begging Spirit Temple, closing their eyes in contemplation. Their star generals were also nearby. The Begging Spirit Temple was one of the White Tiger Territory's ancient ruins. Inside was a 7 spirits profound array. Its highest place was like a hand raised to the sky, able to look out in all directions and even spot the 8 desolates through the ages. Not long after, a freezing cold escape light flew towards this place. A young woman as beautiful as an ice sculpture descended onto the top of the temple. She was Han Bing. A moment later, another 2 escape lights arrived in succession. One was a brown-haired woman, the other a tall and sturdy man. They were Xen Lao Tu and Xiang Qinxing. Upon seeing them, Grandfather Li opened his eyes, and Shijio Ying and the others stood from their seats in greeting. You took some time. Shijio Ying asked apathetically. Did you go play? Xen Lao glanced at Shijio Ying as if she was looking at a rock, not saying anything. Xiang Qinxing did not mind him either, answering to Grandfather Li. This time, Xen Lao and I paid noble star little whirlwind Chai Jin a visit, but this Chai Jin declined us without so much as saying a word. Xiang Qinxing summarized. Xen Lao nodded, confirming his report from the side. What a noble star little whirlwind. Truly, she does not recognize what is good for her. Shijio Ying patted the chair, imposingly smiling. We will go to the Great Circle Castle immediately, kill her into a river of blood, leave not a single chicken or dog. Everyone looked to Grandfather Li. Evidently, he had the greatest authority among the White Tiger's 7 spirit stars. Grandfather Li still gracefully waved his fan, making a fan dance. Chai Jin has the red ink iron certificate. We have no way to get her. Destroy the Great Circle Castle's influence. Chai Jin is unlikely to get far by herself. We can then become the ones that steal away the Millennial Star General's assets, have even greater advantage in the star duels. Shirjiao Ying was very adamant. No rush. Facing Chai Jin is something in the future. Song Feng advised. The top priority is to make our White Tiger 7 spirit stars whole with the last fire spirit. The White Tiger 7 spirit stars not only gathered for the 7 stars assembly, the 7 spirits array could not be missing anyone. Mentioning this, little conqueror Zhoujun sneered. Where is that Mie Shangqing? Did he finally die? We encountered the majestic star and hero star. We were no match. Song Feng gently explained. Death suits him. Everyone smiled. Zhou Jun had already been sick of looking at Mie Shangqing. For this kind of disgusting bastard that killed a sister willing to sign a contract, if it was not for her master's orders prohibiting her, the little conqueror would have done away with him. Now, hearing that he had been destroyed by the majestic star, everyone ought to be celebrating without exception. Star generals were like this, so Song Feng was helpless. The treasure banquet is upon us. Lacking the fire spirit bodes ill. Xiang Chenxing said in a low voice. No need to worry, grandfather has already selected someone. Zijin spoke. Xin Jingwei, 3, you can come out now. Grandfather Li put away the fan. When he spoke, a burst of flame descended onto the platform from the sky, transforming into an elegant man. Your servant is Xin Jingwei. Greetings, everyone. Xin Jingwei cupped his fist. Next to him appeared a woman. Xin Jingwei introduced her. This is your servant Star General, Yan Linglong. Han Bing flipped out the birth treasure outline, grunting with a seeming jeer. Star position, strong star, 5, star name, Yan Shun, 6, nickname, multicolored tiger, 7, true name, Yan Linglong rank, 50th star weapon, heavenly tiger following heaven saber, 8, 4 star, star beast, beautiful tiger, realm, 10,000 techniques second stage innate skill, roasting heat 5 elements, fire yellow rank technique, tiger hissing mountain forest, tin, earth rank technique, slay for the devil 11, current status, Shen Jingwei, contractor, detailed materials. Only 10,000 techniques second stage, and the ranked 50th, mediocre, nondescript strong star Yan Shun. She really appeared unremarkable. But it is not like you have a choice, do you? Shin Jingwei said in embarrassment. This fellow Shin Jingwei is of fire tiger beast cultivation, having signed a contract long ago. In the current star duels, to find a fire spirit is already not too likely. What do the rest of you think? Grandfather Li asked faintly. Although this fire spirit was lacking in strength, in any case, they finally had a star master to complete their 7 spirits array. Since this is the case, we welcome Brother Shin's induction. Song Feng said with friendly indication. Just at this moment, an extremely sarcastic voice came from the horizon. Such a weak little fire spirit. As far as you people are concerned, this is a complete burden. It would be better to leave him be. Shin Jingwei's face changed. He shouted, Madman from who knows where, you do not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Everyone lifted their heads to look at the sky. Another fire cloud flew over. This fire cloud dispersed to reveal an odd man with red hair and eyes wearing a red robe. From head to toe, he was a completely deep red. Where did this human come from? Shirjiao Ying stirred a savage grin and was about to kill. They looked. Although this man was very strange, he did not have any demon chi upon him at all. Clearly, he did not come from a demon beast. Grandfather Li spoke at this time. Why does your distinguished self not announce your name, give some indication? Your servant is surname Yi, 12, given name Fudu. 13, your servant knows that the White Tiger territory has 7 spirit heroes that are still lacking a fire spirit. What a coincidence! Your servant just so happens to cultivate a fire-style cultivation method that can match everyone's 7-spirit array. Yifutu slightly smiled. At this time, a white light flashed beside him. A young girl that looked about 10 years old appeared. That young girl appeared incomparably adorable, like a delicate doll, with large eyes, long hair, and a figure clad in white armor. Her exquisite build would make anyone want to go cherish her. The star crest on her forehead displayed her unmistakable identity as a star general. In spite of this girl's petite and delicate appearance, her big eyes nevertheless emitted a strict and severe aggression, intimidating at first glance. Shen Jingwei and his star general Yan Linglong showed grim expressions. "You, a human, wants to join us?" Shen Jingwei laughed. He had heard a big joke. "And why not? Your servant alone can defeat all of you." Yifutu appeared very amicable, but the words he said were nevertheless not so friendly. Shen Jingwei's expression turned very unsightly. The others looked at each other, then they placed their gazes upon Grandfather Li. "Why not let us witness him for a moment?" Grandfather Li said. The others did not object, for they actually were curious about what this man could do. "Linglong, you go get rid of him." Shen Jingwei disdained to think that their teamwork was inferior, but upon seeing this Yifutu's cultivation unexpectedly was supervoid stage, he did not dare be careless. "Your servant shall accompany you." Strong Star Yan Linglong shouted, fast and direct. The heavenly tiger following Heaven Saber slashed with a blue light, firing in a perfectly straight line. Yifutu was tranquil and calm. He knew a star general's might, and he certainly did not want to experience this full power slash. Also, this Yifutu was considerably well-versed in battle. He leapt several paces, making use of air as springboards, jumping high up. A dark red flying sword flew out at the same time. Yan Linglong wanted to end things quickly and did not hesitate to use her dark rank technique. Her attack became even more exaggerated. Several thousand blue saber chi erupted from the saber's edge, just like blossoming fireworks, becoming a rain of blue lasers. The dark red flying swords were easily stopped. Yifutu hovered in the air, flipped, and then borrowed the powerful recoil to weave through the rain of blue saber lights. Dark red sword ring. Suddenly, everyone was stunned. The dark red flying swords of Yifutu became a ring that revolved around his whole body. The man's sword. Without waiting to land this time, he directly punched. His target was Yan Linglong's body. But Yifutu clearly had far underestimated the strong star's threat level. What his fist punched through was unexpectedly an illusion. With a hoarse voice, Yifutu's brows rose. "Die." Yan Linglong already appeared behind him. Her speed was very fast. Completely without any warning. Yifutu spotted the young woman's chilling expression. This indeed was an exceptional star general. Perhaps with a bit more discipline she could have fortune, but seeing the blade's surface and interior seemed to bear countless galaxies, a saber light rocketed out from within. Yifutu had never thought that he would have such a close confrontation at this time. For a time, he was completely powerless in the middle of the sparkling light. With a groan, this saber light directly struck Yifutu. The dark red sword rings broke. Yifutu felt his whole body hurt as if it was on fire. His mind rang and was about to explode. Suddenly he collapsed. "Nicely done." Shen Jingwei was excited. Yan Linglong sneered. Yifutu took a deep breath, suddenly curling his lips into a sinister grin. Yifutu's whole body was abruptly enveloped in flame. The dark red flying swords gathered behind him to form a pair of fire wings, aggressively unfolding. Then, immediately afterwards, he slaughtered multicolored tiger Yan Linglong. The power of his assault was extraordinary. Each punch and kick left no leeway, a suffocating encroachment. Like a hunt. The attack that encroached like fire struck Yan Linglong, catching her unprepared. The multicolored tiger was beaten. She groaned endlessly. This time, even the white tiger 7 spirits were considerably shocked. Their voices were no longer as full of contempt as before. Just what the hell is the background of this man? What has he cultivated to unexpectedly be able to face a star general? How could Yan Linglong be trampled over? After enduring through Yifutu's first wave of overwhelming attacks, she already was completely infuriated. She instantly vanished, her swiftness astonishing. Yi Fuda nevertheless seemed to have become a puppet, a battle puppet. The dark red flying sword rings spun, their flames domineering, chasing to the side without any delay, as if they had already caught the scent of their target. As expected, Yen Linglong appeared. Yi Fuda's attack this time was executed exceptionally again. His fire wings opened at the same time, becoming sharp swords that slashed. Yen Linglong straddled a beautiful tiger. Amidst the tiger's hiss, her whole body's sky-blue light intensified. Her star crest flickered, and her imposing aura seemed to expand. Courting death. Yen Linglong was furious. She spurred the beautiful tiger into charging over. Her powerful rush combined with her star beast's attack, and even Yi Fuda's flying swords died in peace. Yi Fuda was continuously pushed back, instantly suppressed. Shen Jingwei was delighted, as if he spotted victory. Yen Linglong's attack was increasingly vigorous, her saber light emerging in numerous layers, encircling him. At this time, Yi Fuda's star maiden spoke. "Fuda, are you done playing yet? I want to play too." Rumble. Yi Fuda was repelled. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. The man looked at the girl. "Bingxin, Feng, everything will be over soon." Arrogant. Yen Linglong grunted, once again using her dark technique. Yi Fuda smiled. His wrist flipped, and a beautiful red feather fan appeared. Everyone changed. 7 feathers fan. Shen Jingwei shouted out hoarse. 7 feathers fan. Yi Fuda wore an elegant smile. The 7 feathers in his hand were gorgeous as they shuddered. Flames of multicolored light flowed. This 7 feathers fan was forged from the quintessential tail feathers of 7 kinds of divine beasts: the prehistoric fire luan, fire phoenix, 2, black gold bird, clinging heavenly vermilion jian, and others. It was a very powerful fire-type spirit treasure, ranked number 8 on the spirit list. Zhao Heng originally had qualifications with just the counterfeit 7 feathers karma fire fan. The 7 feathers fan's might was obvious. Not one of the white tiger demon beasts had expected this human to surprisingly have this prehistoric spirit treasure. Each and every one of them showed shock. Shen Jingwei shouted, unable to sit by idly any longer. His body turned into flame, becoming a flaming tiger that pounced up. Yi Fuda shook the fan. The 7 feathers let out a blood-red light. The flame light's flow became a giant flaming luan. This luan unfolded wings of fire, as if they covered the sky. Multicolored tiger Yen Linglong raised her saber to block. The luan bird swooped down onto Yen Linglong. The flames flowing light immediately wrapped her up. Yi Fuda saw that before the fire luan could take the upper hand, she sneered. The fire phoenixes sprung forth from the fan at the same time. The 2 giant fire birds pincer attacked, and heaven and earth seemed to burn. Even the white tiger 7 spirit stars below were stirred, with no choice but to release barriers and forbid dances to block the Fein wind. This man actually has some assets. Sergio gloomily said. With the 7 feathers fan, he does have the qualifications to become our fire spirit. Song Feng smiled, casting a glance at grandfatherly. This old man showed a kind of profoundly mysterious smile. The tiger hissed, the flames broke. Shi Jingwei manifested his true body. The broiling heat flame tiger forcibly stopped the 7 feathers fan. Master! Yen Linglong's complexion changed. This 7 feathers fan's might was inexhaustible. Only 3 prehistoric sacred beasts were enough to make Shen Jingwei stuck in a dilemma. Yi Fuda, die. Yen Linglong took up the heavenly tiger following Heaven's saber. The saber emitted a piercing blue light. Yi Fuda's star general could not longer stand by. The girl's figure was fine, her wide cape and white armor rising up. Despite the girl's petite appearance, her speed was nevertheless oddly quick. Her wrist flipped, revealing an enormous sword. This sword and the girl were incongruous, for the sword was far larger than the girl's entire body. The sword's tip was chilling, its blade decorated with countless golden dragon markings. 5 stars flitted about, their radiance unmatched. This large sword was handled as easily as a toy in the girl's hands. For dragons spun around the hilt, extremely beautiful. Silver snow dragon abyss. Song Feng was stunned. I am not waiting anymore. Bingxin spat out this sentence. She rose steeply, turning into a white light. Yi Fuda activated a sword chant at the same time, arranging a sword array. Multicolored tiger Yan Linglong's saber sliced, cutting against Bingxin's silver snow dragon abyss, but it was battered into bewilderment in less than 2 moves by Bingxin. In terms of martial force, she completely was not an opponent. Not good, Linglong, we are fleeing now. Shen Jingwei was terrified. He already knew that he had run into trouble and was about to use the jade pendant to escape. As Shen Jingwei used the Liangshan jade pendant, Yi Fuda was unable to do anything. Just as they were about to flee, suddenly a clap of thunder fell from the sky, the rumbling noise falling onto Shen Jingwei's body. In the blink of an eye, Shen Jingwei's true body broiling heat flame tigers was boomed into extinguishing its flame. In another instant he was destroyed under this heavenly thunder. Jingwei! Yan Linglong wailed. Little sister, please go back. Bingxin immediately returned Yan Linglong with a swing of her sword. The entire process was no more than an instant. Yi Fuda stored the 7 feathers fan and the sword array. Bingxin grasped her sword and stood by his side. Those naive and guiltless eyes stared at the old man on the begging spirit temple. Grandfather Li folded his fan. He gestured gently as the wind, yet that thunderbolt just now had been called forth by none other than him. Yi Fuda gazed at this old man with a heart full of astonishment. His face retracted his previous grin. If that thunderbolt just now had been directed at him, the consequences were indeed too horrible to comprehend. Is Senior willing to have faith in your servant? Yi Fuda cupped his fist. What say you? Grandfather Li inquired. Since Grandfather Li had acted to destroy Shen Jingwei, the answer was very obvious. Shijio Ying was not happy at all with this human, but he could only acquiesce. Let alone that this man's Star General was an earthly star for heavenly kings. Just the Star General alone was indeed far more powerful than Shen Jingwei. Even Shijio Ying did not have the confidence to be able to face Yi Fuda. Song Feng laughed, amicably saying, Then welcome, Brother Futu, to our collaboration, let us move forward together. You flatter me. Yi Fuda descended. However, we require all of your information. Xiang Chenxing made a picky request. A strange cultivator in possession of the 7 feathers fan had appeared in the White Tiger territory. This request was within Yi Fuda's expectations. The man nodded. Bingxin. Han Bing flipped through the birth treasure outline, pensive. Gong Caiwei's father, Prince Feng Wu, was quite an attractive and charming man. His face was as distinct as a sculpture, his sharp and clear-cut face exceptionally handsome. His appearance seemed unconventional, but the light his eyes carelessly exposed made people not dare underestimate him. With a head of jet-black hair, a pair of slender peach blossom eyes were nevertheless beneath his sharp brows, filled with passion, making people feel as if they would be sucked in if they were not careful. He had a high nose, moderately thick red lips that currently nevertheless rippled with a dizzying smile. Gong Fengting was Emperor Liang's best friend. When Emperor Liang originally seized Jiangshan and established his military exploits, he himself naturally was a cultivator. Furthermore, he was a super void sword saint. Su Xing could be considered as being able to understand why Gong Caiwei was a sword cultivator since she was little. Perhaps she had received some of her father's influence. Everyone, please sit. Gong Fengting looked at Su Xing and his beauties, his eyes showing surprise. Although he had heard rumors that the Purple Thunder Monster was dispatched by Maiden Mountain with many top-notch star generals in his following, when he actually saw it for himself, he still felt disbelief. Gong Fengting already arranged a feast. In actuality, Su Xing was not in any mood to drink wine right now. Gong Sun Huang had fallen into the star nest, and Shiyu had returned to the Black Turtle territory. Yan Yizhen and the other girls were heavily wounded, making his mood not good at all. The reason why he had agreed to see Gong Fengting was no more than to see the face of Gong Caiwei's father. Gong Caiwei and Su Xing were precisely the same. Evidently, they did not like any sort of dinner parties. Father, If you have something, then quickly say it. Su Xing does not have any time to spare on a party. Gong Kaiwei answered for Su Xing. Her speech was considerably frank, making Gong Fengting laugh aloud. I know you Star Masters fight for even the last second, that time is very precious, but do you not have time to appreciate just one sword dance? Gong Fengting clapped his hands. A crowd of women wearing classical long gowns poured in like fishes from the door. Their hands held swords, and their attire was quite elegant. The leader was a beautiful female student. This emperor's court sword dance was once shown before at the Ling Yan Princess' 18th birthday. I am very fond of it. Other than the star duels, you Star Masters ought to relax when you have the time. Gong Fengting introduced. It was obvious that Gong Fengting was a fellow with pretensions about culture. Just the decorations of this palace made that clear. This hall's adornments, to its apparel, floorboards, every detail was full of rich appeal. The sword as a weapon dissolved into a dance, and it could be said that this was a wonderful composition. The young girls began to raise their swords and pace. The swords in the sword dance included single swords, dual swords, and swords fashioned after sabers. The single swords generally had tassels, and these tassels were rather long, about 1 meter. As they danced, sword and tassel, hardness and softness crossed to and fro, changing the sword dance constantly. They had gone through a long time of practice. The sword dancers' postures and movements were confident and orderly, appearing bright and gorgeous. The two main types of sword dance, standing sword, movements were quick and nimble. When at rest, their stances were steady and fine, filled with the feeling of status. Moving sword, movements were continuous and unending, like a long, roving dragon with head and tail following in succession, like moving clouds and flowing water, steady and strong. The match with the girls' delicate bodies was not only pleasing to the eye, those coldly glinting swords seemed even more like they could kill the enemy at any time. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. He originally had been about to speak, but upon seeing Lin Yingmei, Wu Siyou and the others give rise to slight curiosity for the sword dance, he had not much to say. In actuality, to speak of the star duels star generals, leisure time like this could truly be counted on fingers. For the majority of their time, the star generals were all thinking of how to increase their own strength, constantly weaving in and out of every kind of danger. Although the sword dance was wonderful, it nevertheless was missing something. Kaiwei, it is so difficult for you to come back. Why not play a piece for your friend for your enjoyment? Gong Fengting toasted. Everyone's gazes turned to look at Gong Kaiwei. Gong Kaiwei was like snow and frost, nevertheless without any changes. Upon hearing her father's invitation, her brows slightly creased. She did not understand what her father was doing, but her relationship with her father had never been very close. Gong Kaiwei was disinclined to think this through, but upon second thought, she nodded in agreement, making a request. Only one song. Adjourn once done. This request made Gong Fengting helplessly smile. A pure white guzheng was moved to the center of the main hall that danced to the heavens. Shen Shijuan sat on the ground, her white sleeves honestly spry and lively. Gong Kaiwei sat on the ground, with clothes white as snow. Her fingers plucked, and suddenly, the guzheng let out a tremulous reverberation, as if it had returned to those ancient times of romance. The dancing women crowded the surroundings of the girl, assuming sword dance postures. The sword tips crowded together, cold light glistening. When Gong Kaiwei slowly plucked the first string, Gong Fengting's face had a similar emotion and sigh. Only then did Su Xing understand. It turned out that Gong Fengting's impressive formation was merely to listen to Gong Kaiwei play. However, Gong Kaiwei was indeed unmatched and outstanding. Her melodious mastery was exceptionally formidable. As far as the guzheng was concerned, she was entirely in her element. Regardless of Tuo, Pai, Go, Ti, Tiao, or Quo, Lun, Yao, 5, or the other techniques, she used them casually and with ease. Her left hand's traditional techniques used rich vibrato and glissando, used beautiful and plain sound as the most important characteristics. The guzheng turned from faint to quick, the speed swift as a downpour, as if witnessing a battle between two sides. The sound moved heaven and earth, as if sending the roof tiles flying. In slow observance, there was the sound of a golden drum, swords and crossbows, men and horses. Using just the sense of hearing, the beginning was straining, then frightening. The others felt this way. Then, this kind of surging sound slowly calmed, turning into something like a lover's melancholy. Drinking and chatting merrily, Gong Fengting next began to chat endlessly word after word with Su Xing. The topics were all-inclusive, ranging from the purple thunder monster to the bright moon longevity palace, 6, then to how he came to know Gong Kaiwei. Although the topics asked were strong in start, weak in finish, Su Xing still discerned that this man was making an indirect approach. So this is the famous majestic star, your distinguished self's first wife? Gong Fengting suddenly changed the topic. Precisely. Su Xing nodded. A crafty glint flashed past Gong Fengting's eyes. He suddenly looked to Wu Xiao and the other girls, asking, "Then I wonder how these ladies are ranked in your heart, Su Xing?" Clang clang. The guzheng came to a sudden stop. The hall was absolutely silent. Su Xing's brows rose. This was quite the poor question. There was a deathly stillness instantly in the hall. The air seemed to have frozen. Gong Caiwei's guzheng came to a spontaneous stop. The Shi Yuan who had originally been watching the sword dance was taken aback. Stowing her thoughts, she looked at Gong Fengting with great animosity. Gong Fengting's question was not at all evil in intent, but it sounded very improper. Clearly, he was saying the others were not as good as Lin Yingmei. Although he had always addressed Lin Yingmei as the first wife, the other beauties did not mind, but to place this question on the table for discussion, this was mostly displeasing. Everyone present stared at Su Xing in silence. Just as Wu Xinjie was about to come to Su Xing's aid, Su Xing extended a hand to stop her. Neither servile nor overbearing, he calmly answered, "The first." A tie for number 1? This answer was within Gong Fengting's expectations. Prince Feng Wu hung a mocking smile. In fact, the reason why he was so aggressive still was due to some male jealousy. Even the Buddha would be unable to remain calm seeing Su Xing with so many star generals. Everyone together. Su raised his copper goblet, looked at all the beauties, smiling in reply. The beauties knowingly smiled. Hua Wanyue among them nevertheless was considerably awkward. She the hero star did not treat this man as her husband, however. Su Xing's answer made hero star Hua Wanyue somewhat stunned. Gong Fengting was at a loss, having not expected that Su Xing would reply this way. Astonishment flashed past his eyes, and he nodded in admiration. Well said. I shall toast you a cup. Su Xing, do not waste time. We are leaving. Gong Kaiwei rose. She looked coldly at her father, somewhat displeased with her father's conduct just then. Su Xing saw that time was nearly up. He nodded. Your servant still has other matters that cannot be delayed. Your Highness Prince, your servant shall take his leave. Prince Feng Wu forced a smile. He scratched his nose in embarrassment. Then next time, this king shall seek out Su Xing for a drink. Farewell. Su Xing left the palace, urging on his escape light and leaving with Gong Kaiwei at the same time. Instantly, they vanished beyond the heavens. Gong Fengting sent them off with his eyes, up until their figures disappeared. At this time, his advisor said, Prince, are you letting the purple thunder monster leave like this? This purple thunder monster has just broken the bright moon longevity palace and may have obtained the longevity cultivation method. And so what? Gong Fengting pursed his lips, recovering his stern manner. The advisor was at a loss for words. Yes, so what? The other party had more than 10 star generals following him. Even the 10 great sects' encirclement had failed, so how could the trifling Prince Feng Wu's entire army compare? But it really is a pity for the longevity cultivation method to unexpectedly be obtained by the purple thunder monster. Kaiwei has a good relationship with him. This king does not feel it is a pity. Does Prince truly feel that purple thunder monster will let Miss Kaiwei go? Kaiwei will naturally understand. We need not worry. However, this king had just probed him, Prince Feng Wu said contemplatively. The result. What a good answer, everyone together. This king is very impressed, huh? Water illusion fairy Shiyu opened her eyes. When she saw she was in her immortal's abode, she breathed a sigh of relief. She flipped out a dull gold steel. That tablet's golden characters swirled, glowing faintly, its spirit chi oppressive. The corner of Shiyu's lips could not help but smile. She communicated with the Feiyu inside the star nest. The boatman was still recovering. However, worried about Su Xing, Shiyu still prepared to not wait for Zhang Feiyu's recovery and exited the immortal's abode. After several flashes, an escape light flew over. Sister Shiyu, you have returned? This is truly too good. The headmaster has something to seek of you. A young girl dressed in blue silk happily said. This girl's name was Lan Tianyu, the only person in the illusion reality sect that Shiyu actually got along with. The headmaster is looking for me? Shiyu was surprised. Yes, something urgent. Shiyu's immortal abode was opened inside the illusion reality sect's Leiling. Even if she herself were to force it, she could not open it. Her heart was somewhat nervous, but Shiyu had never disobeyed the headmaster's orders. Shiyu shall go. Illusion Reality Main Hall. The headmaster appeared as a grotesque old crone. Her body was stooped, her expression sunken, and her face was filled with wrinkles. Her eyes were like candle flames in the wind about to extinguish at any moment. However, her supercluster early-stage cultivation made people not dare look down on her. Just that old Mother Soulless, too, moniker was enough to make people respect her. Lady Mother, Shiyu deferentially said. Everyone in the illusion reality sect addressed old Mother Soulless as Mother. At the very beginning, even Shiyu was somewhat unaccustomed, but in the end, she adjusted. Shiyu, you are finally willing to return. Old Mother Soulless' hand held a hideous cane made of wood from the Chinese scholar tree. She spoke calmly, yet the air exhibited pressure. Shiyu has some matters to attend to and asks Mother to pardon. Shiyu sincerely answered. Since you have returned, then never mind. And the boatman? Why has she not come out to greet this old woman? Does she despise old bodies? Old Mother Soulless was unhappy. Shiyu said, Feiyu is injured and trapped in the star nest, unable to appear. Please forgive her, Mother. A slight sneer appeared in old Mother Soulless' eyes. This old woman hears that you and the purple thunder monster walked very close. Have you finally tasted suffering now? What kind of person is that purple thunder monster? Could it be you were not betrayed accompanying him? Could it be he sneak-attacked Zhang Feiyu, and that is why you have returned? Old Mother Soulless had thought Shiyu had been deceived. She sneered, but she was also upset. Shiyu was unable to reply. If she mentioned the Bright Moon Longevity Palace affair, she was positive old Mother Soulless would turn hostile. She kept her silence. Old Mother Soulless merely treated 11U's silence as acknowledgement, and her heart was even more pleased. Your following the Purple Thunder Monster has made the Devil Star Palace very unhappy. This sect has received enormous pressure. This time, Great Saint Starkiller has died, and the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon has been inducted into the Devil Star Palace. This sect has decided to pair you with Holy Lord of Draconic Demon to complete the 7 Stars Assembly. The Devil Star Palace will confer to you too the art of Devil Star Dual Cultivation. When you two cultivate at the same time, you will certainly be able to ascend Maiden Mountain. Ha! Shiyu's face paled. What is Mother saying? Do you feel dissatisfied? Old Mother Soulless' eyes were gloomy. No. Shiyu absolutely will not dual cultivate with Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and asks that Mother recant that promise. Shiyu emphatically replied. Old Mother Soulless scolded her. Absolutely disgraceful. Shiyu, when you first fell into the netherworld, it was this sect that kindly sheltered you, that you have the name of Water Illusion Fairy. You dare violate this sect's orders? Shiyu's heart belongs to Su Xing. In this life and in this world, she will absolutely never betray him. 11U spat blood. Wrong. Old Mother Soulless was extremely angry. You have been deceived once by that Purple Thunder Monster, and now you want to be deceived twice. Lowly girl, why do you not understand that the Purple Thunder Monster has exploited you? He did not exploit me. 11 Yu knocked her head against the floor, leaving blood. Shiyu asks mother to help. Help? The Devil Star Palace is being forceful. How would you have this sect explain to them? Shameful. Old mother's soulless knuckles were white, her fury springing from the heart. Mother, calm. The surrounding supercluster ancestors hastily soothed her. An ancestor shouted, Shiyu, why do you persist in the wrong ways? Quickly apologize to mother. Even if Shiyu dies, she will not marry anyone else. Shiyu lowered her head and did not raise it. Shameful. That ancestor sent Shiyu flying with a palm. The girl slammed into a pillar and nearly lost consciousness. Shiyu was already injured at the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. Not having recovered yet, this impact made her vomit blood, staining her clothes red. The other ancestors were slightly disturbed, but in the end, they still restrained their impulses. They looked at Shiyu. Disappointment, confusion, fury, they all could not understand how the water illusion fairy could have been bewitched by the purple thunder monster, to surprisingly be confused to this degree. Mother's kindness is like the mountains Shiyu does not dare forget, but the dual cultivation art, 11 Yu absolutely will not agree. Shiyu said resolutely, not compromising at all. This nearly drove old mother soulless mad. Elder sister Shiyu, just agree. Lan Tianyu wept. Shiyu shook her head. This is beyond you. Old mother soulless slapped a table into splinters. Lock Shiyu in Black Flame Mountain. 3. Mother, please reconsider. Lan Tianyu shouted. Black Flame Mountain was the volcano under the Illusion Reality sect. Its terrain was poor, its array strange. If you dare plead for her, you will be locked in as well. Shiyu's face paled. It was a pity she was powerless to resist. When she was dragged away, her heart only worried about the longevity steel matter. By the time Shiyu was taken away, old Mother Soulless' face was full of wrath. How could this sect raise such an ignorant Star Master, to have been tricked into nearly losing her life by the Purple Thunder Monster, to surprisingly even keep him constantly in her mind? Just what kind of person is that Purple Thunder Monster? I heard that before Great Saint Starkiller died, his Star General Great Blade Guan Ying was seduced by the Purple Thunder Monster. Someone said. Old Mother Soulless twitched. Everyone, go inform Devil Star Palace and say that the Water Illusion Fairy has been captured. Have Holy Lord of Draconic Demon come. Old Mother Soulless took a deep breath. Lady Mother, could it be? With things as they are, it is too late to change anything. At that time, Shiyu naturally will understand that what this sect has done was with her in mind. Shiyu definitely will understand. If only that were so. The Black Turtle Territory's Star Master powers was an alliance of 1 Devil Palace and 4 halls. Among them, the Devil Star Palace was the leader. The other sects served it, and Shiyu's Illusion Reality sect was one of those. If it was before she had met Su Xing, Shiyu would have followed Great Saint Starkiller blindly. However, that day in Black Turtle Temple when Shiyu made public she was following the Purple Thunder Monster gave the Black Turtle Territory a big shock. Su Xing worried for Shiyu and used the Jade Pendant to very quickly appear in the Black Turtle Territory. Then, he rushed without stop to the Illusion Reality sect because he did not know where 11 Yu's Immortal's abode was opened at. Su Xing could only go to the Illusion Reality sect to ask. Generally, Star Master's Immortal's abodes were unmistakably inside their sections. Regarding 11 Yu, Su Xing's heart actually was considerably complex. As the first woman who had the courage to confess her love to Su Xing, this kind of feeling was very sudden, so much so that it made Su Xing somewhat wonder how to handle this. To say that she had passion as intense as Lin Yingmei's, no one would believe it. Su Xing originally felt that he himself was a bit fickle in love, but when he faced Shiyu he nevertheless felt something was missing. He wondered about that disorderly complexity or those baffling feelings, but in short, regarding Shiyu's position, Su Xing treated her as a dear friend. As for what came after, let nature run its course, then. Although he thought this, Su Xing still used several moments of time to rush to the gate of the Illusion Reality sect from the Azure Dragon territory. Su Xing had hardly mentioned his name when a young woman in blue silk shouted in shock. "You are the purple thunder monster that elder sister Shiyu insists on marrying? Quickly, quickly go save elder sister." "What? What happened? What's wrong with Shiyu?" Su Xing's anxiously asked. "Elder sister Shiyu." Before Lan Tianyu could speak, they heard the mountain gate jolt. Several dozen rays of escape light soared up in front of Su Xing. Has the purple thunder monster arrived? 100 cultivators appeared. The old woman in the lead was about to launch into a furious lecture upon hearing the purple thunder monster, but upon seeing Su Xing's party, she was immediately shocked into speechlessness. With a cold tone, she said, "Who are you? What business do you have with my sect?" "Your servant is Su Xing, Shiyu's close friend." "Just what has happened to her?" Su Xing's tone was ice-cold. His divine intent was released, rolling like a tidal wave. Despite Su Xing's supercluster middle stage, his contracts with multiple star maidens made his divine intent abnormally formidable. Even the supercluster stage Old Mother Soulless was somewhat uncomfortable. This old lady's expression was grim. She gripped her cane and shouted, "You monster, you deceived my daughter without saying a thing and even wanted to kill her. Now, you have come to find her, what do you take my daughter for?" As she spoke, Old Mother Soulless raised a scythe. Dense, black chi surged down, heavy as Mount Tai. The pitch-black shafted sickle's blade glinted with an abnormal, eerie black light. An enormous divine devil form roared continuously, carrying in the middle the shrieks and wails of these countless ghosts. Indeed, it was extremely frightening, making other people already terrified before they even fought. Just as that scythe swung down with unimaginable speed. This slash was absolute. Even if one was made of iron, they would be cleaved in two, especially with the ghost blades on top supplementing it, corroded primordial spirits, extraordinarily vicious. Without even looking, Su Xing's Langya spun, releasing evil suppressing clear light. They slowly emerged above that scythe, nothing fancy in the midst of them, flying gracefully by. Talisman script was glimpsed, and the evil suppressing clear light magnified. The evil suppressing gem script's countless characters densely wove into a net of light, trapping the scythe. This black scythe cut into it. As if it was caught in cotton, the softness was strained. Su Xing struck a hand seal. After he blocked this attack, the Langya swords continuously changed, splitting off into 10 more identically sized copies, forming an elaborate sword array that attacked the divine devil form. 10,000-year evil suppressing gem bamboo. Old Mother Soulless was stunned. She recognized this thing. This 10,000-year evil suppressing gem bamboo restrained devil attacks. The Langya sword's evil suppressing clear light drifted endlessly, like smoke and mist, their might exceptional, specialized in restraining all things evil. Old Mother Soulless soul birthing scythe was refined with the aid of soul birthing yin energy. Although the divine devil form it gathered into was ruthless and cruel, it nevertheless did not dare touch the attacking Langya flying swords. Its figure continuously evaded without stopping. Its massive body seemed to be weightless, suddenly stepping in and back, shuttling back and forth. Its speed was oddly fast, and Su Xing's Langya sword array temporarily was surprisingly unable to even touch the skin of this divine devil form. After all, it was Super Void stage, so to face it was not so easy. The soul-birthing size Azura devil form's body was somewhat close to a true spirit, exceptionally quick. From time to time, it availed itself the intervals between Langya's attacks when it evaded to slash with the sickle. Its ghost chi was deep, extremely formidable, but to hurt Su Xing was a fantasy. A duel between a supervoid cultivator and supercluster cultivator was supposed to be suspenseless, but in the face of the restraints by Su Xing's evil suppressing flying swords, Old Mother Soulless had no choice. The flying swords crossed and temporarily stiffened. Old Mother Soulless sneered, flipping through hand seals. The black chi was like a tide, and her flying swords filled the skies, turning to threads. Su Xing pushed the air, not bothering with her trouble. Space manifested a golden lotus, directly washing away the black chi. Lin Yingmei, Wu Xiyo, and the others did not say another word. They raised their unstoppable destined star weapons. When the top-notch martial generals released their auras, each and every one of the illusion reality sect's cultivators froze as if a blade was held to their backs. Do not kill mother. Lan Tianyu was frightened stiff. Quickly inform me just what happened to Shiyu. Su Xing landed in front of old Mother Soulless, menacing. His expression seemed to want to eat her alive. This was the first time that this super void great cultivator had been defeated like this. But this old Mother Soulless shouted, even if this old woman dies, this old body will not hand her daughter over to you. Seeing her so protective of Shiyu, Su Xing's previous hostility ebbed a bit, but he was not clear about Shiyu's status. He worried that she had encountered danger. His flying swords attacked, and the evil suppressing clear light pierced old Mother Soulless into a retreat. If you do not answer, then do not blame me when I flip over your sect. Su Xing sternly said. He honestly seemed very much like the image of a monster with incredible powers. Elder sister Shiyu is at the Black Flame Mountain, she is unhurt. Lan Tianyu promptly said. Black Flame Mountain? Su Xing nodded. He stared at old Mother Soulless. Your servant Su Xing and Shiyu are friends. I will not hurt her. When Shiyu absolutely insists on marrying no one but you, are you really only friend? Do you take this old body for a mere child? Old Mother Soulless sneered. With a boom, the illusion reality sect's array activated. That is your choice to not believe. I naturally will save Shiyu and take her away. If you truly have good faith, then bring out proof. Words are meaningless, everyone is capable of sweet talk. Old Mother Soulless yelled. The 100 soul-birthing flying swords roared together. The supercluster stage's intimidation was unexcelled. How would you have me prove it? Su Xing said. The Black Flame Mountain is this sect's first mountain. If you truly care for my daughter, then you alone must descend the mountain and bring her out. Then this old body shall acknowledge you. Old Mother Soulless sneered, naturally unconvinced that one Star Master could achieve this. For a Star Master without his Star Generals to face that wretched environment, his life or death was difficult to determine. So long as he was a bit smart, he ought to know what to do. Old Mother Soulless said this also to make Shiyu clearly see reality, to see the true face of the man before her. But old Mother Soulless was destined to be surprised. Fine, however, I have one request. Su Xing agreed without hesitation. What request? If I rescue her from this moment forth, you may not interfere with Shiyu. Su Xing coldly said. He had once heard Shiyu mention her past with the Black Turtle territory, and he knew that some of the illusion reality sect had treated Shiyu with kindness great as a mountain. It was because of this that Su Xing did not immediately turn hostile. Old Mother 11U vacillated indeterminately. This old body promises you. Lord Husband. Wu Xiyo and the others were somewhat worried and wanted to stop him. Wu Xinji shook her head at them, hinting at them to not worry. The Knowledge Star had always felt that Shiyu and Su Xing's relationship was somewhat unclear. This was the perfect chance to advance their relationship to the next step. Regarding infatuated women, Wu Xinjie was very happy to add more sisters. Mother, I shall guide this young master. Lan Tianyu said, Lord Husband, if these people show anything strange, your servant shall kill them to the last man. Wu Xiyo calmly said. These words made the illusion reality sect's 100 cultivators pale in the face, yet they said nothing. The star maidens in front of them had an imposing aura that was honestly too fierce. They had no doubts at all that their counterpart could achieve it. Old Mother Soulless did not say a word. Su Xing went with Lan Tianyu to Black Flame Mountain. Along the way, Lan Tianyu explained what happened to Shiyu, and knowing Shiyu's feelings were so deep, Su Xing's heart truly was conflicted to death. Black Flame Mountain was located at the entrance to the illusion reality sect's back mountain. That place was between water and fire, a very nasty environment, with fierce beasts in great numbers, and Black Flame Mountain had a forbid dance as well, which the illusion reality sect specifically established to punish disciples. Along the way, Black Flame Mountain had 99 roads, the reality illusion array. 2. The so-called reality illusion array was an illusion for Biddance. It would create lifelike fantasy lands, and these fantasies were abnormally ferocious, torturing people into wishing for death. For this reason, Black Flame Mountain was completely the same as hell in the eyes of the disciples. If Su Xing truly could bring Shiyu out from such an evil place, then he truly would need strong determination to be able to achieve this. Determination? Su Xing disdainfully smiled. This he was long already familiar with. Without any hesitation, Su Xing entered the volcano's cavity. Su Xing placed himself in the darkness. Other than the surrounding temperatures becoming increasingly hot, from time to time, eyes scarlet as blood opened in the darkness and eyed him greedily. It truly gave people the feeling that they were in hell. The surrounding mountain caves were increasingly large. This tunnel entrance was already as tall as 1 or even 2 people. The blood-red eyes inside were increasingly ferocious, the glint of bloodlight concentrating killing intent. Countless empty caverns linked together, and the air reeked of blood, as if it was becoming increasingly concentrated. Even during the course of his descent, he faintly heard a soft chewing sound that he could not pinpoint the source of, as if some unknown beast was tearing and swallowing food. It sounded hair-raising and bone-chilling. This Black Flame Mountain was out of the ordinary, as expected. Just entering the cave mouth, he could sense a powerful pressure. Without Lin Yingmei and the others nearby, Su Xing's mind generally felt that something was missing. Stretching his whole body's muscles taut, he practically could hear his own pulses' subtle timing. Suddenly, from the darkness below, Su Xing abruptly felt an intense wind blow up from beneath his feet. Stemming practically from a sort of instinct, he moved as he pleased. The moment his flying swords touched that body in the whistling wind, they moved away 3 chi to the sides. Pa! 3! There was an enormous sound, a reflecting glimmer. The darkness depths seemed to have something akin to a tentacle that was incomparably large, swiping past Su Xing's body like a whip and striking heavily against the pitch-black rock face. The entire volcano chamber appeared to jolt. Earth was sent flying with a crumbling sound, sending large and small rocks crashing downwards. A moment later, a severe shout suddenly came from the abyss. The rock face reverberated, wildly calling without stop. Su Xing was immensely surprised. Turning his head to look, he saw that giant demon-like tentacle surprisingly had slammed a giant hole into the rock wall. After writhing for a few moments, it retracted. Su Xing actually sucked in a breath. He felt a faint wind pounce against his face. The enormous black tentacle rolled out from within the cavern, completely untrackable in the darkness. Su Xing moved away. He evaded the black tentacle. But the surrounding countless caverns seemed to come alive at this moment. Innumerable tentacles flew out from the caverns. In that deep darkness beneath Su Xing's feet, the abyss had not visible bottom. He truly did not know how many morbid things were hidden below. Su Xing raised a flying sword. Due to heaven tearing being destroyed by the first overlord, it required time to recuperate. He could only rely on Langya, but Langya's evil-suppressing clear light was clearly not too useful. With no choice, he used Heavenly Abyss. The 12 Heavenly Abyss swords defended like a mountain range, blocking the pounces of the countless tentacles. Su Xing dropped his speed even more quickly. Suddenly, an air-shattering noise rose from below. Su Xing was startled again, and he promptly looked down, only to see that within the darkness below his feet, a firelight had suddenly flashed. Instantly, the surrounding air temperature climbed fiercely. That firelight turned big, and the gale and heat wave accompanying it screamed over. Ducking to the side, Su Xing's complexion slightly changed. It was surprisingly a fire dragon. It reared its head and hissed. From those depths, a surging roar directly rushed up. He looked at the fire dragon. It had a horn and scales, and its whole body surged with intense flames, illuminating the dark cave with a thorough red. At this moment, the fire dragon was considerably ferocious in both body size and power. Su Xing did not know if this was a function of the reality illusion array, but right now naturally was not the time for detailed thinking. Noticing that the fire dragon was turning sinister, a heat wave filled the sky. Instantly, It was in front of him, unexpectedly too sharp to block. Su Xing used wandering the clear skies, dodging the tip. The flying sword magic weapons glowed. It entirely released light that enveloped Su Xing, but this fire dragon's might was too great. Under this form, it immediately pressed down these magic weapon lights. Suddenly, Su Xing was practically pushed backwards at the same time by the enormous fire wave. A moment later, bang bang bang, it slammed against the rocks. The fire dragon rushed straight into the sky, its leftover might shocking. So incredible. It's not a fire dragon. Su Xing's back slammed hard into the cliff face, and he grimaced from the pain. I don't have time for you. Su Xing attacked with Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder. A net of purple thunder covered it. Just at this moment, that rocketing fire dragon turned back, violently hissing. Its power charged downwards like wild thunder. In this plunge from high to low, its might was even more shocking. Su Xing grit his teeth, tightly clenched together a hand seal, and he moved to the side quickly in midair, evading that fierce fire dragon. His right hand pointed and used the purple thunder dragon slang. A bolt of purple thunder shot over like a sword, directly taking the dragon's neck. That fire dragon cried. Its dragon eyes spewed flames as they spun. The huge front left claw was raised, nevertheless blocking the Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder's attack. Su Xing was slightly stunned, feeling that the heat wave seemed to burn and roll. He could only dodge immediately. The fire dragon was unforgiving. It continuously spewed fire at him. At this moment, Su Xing coldly shouted, illuminated above the abyss by the fire dragon. He used the innate Bagua escape technique, and the Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder flourished, blossoming with countless purple lotuses fluttering across the whole sky. The rain of flowers was mournful, plunging down towards the fire dragon's immense head. In the flames, the fire dragon roared again. Its right talon scratched. The purple lotus flowers filling the sky were suddenly repelled by its strike, but Su Xing was not done yet. His fingers snapped, and the instant frost flames sprayed out. The surrounding caverns instantly froze over, pushing down the fire dragon by one zhang. This fire dragon was formidable, relentlessly belching raging flames from its mouth. Su Xing's eyes widened. He sprung away, and when he was in midair, his hands pushed against the air. Golden light instantly glowed bright, and his palms were completely golden light, nearly transparent. The meditative mind lotus flower bloomed, and the cavern was filled with bright golden light. Su Xing himself was even more solemn than a Buddhist statue. From far away, he seemed like a Buddhist monk. But upon seeing his fierce glare, like a demon-destroying Vajras, his might was overwhelming. In midair, his body manifested lightning and golden light. Wherever he passed, there was an enormous rumbling sound. One palm struck apart the hard rock face. Instantly, the originally hard as steel cavern walls unexpectedly caved in within a range of close to 4 zhang. Su Xing pinched together a hand seal, using the Akala Wisdom King chant. The heavenly abyss flying swords reflected the golden light, too glaring to look at, but Su Xing shouted. All of the golden light suddenly receded, gathering into one enormous golden light that shot towards that fire dragon. This power was not small at all. Despite the fire dragon's matchless ferocity, when it was struck, it was knocked silly. Add on that Su Xing's Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder and Instant Frost Flames pincer attack. Under these two strikes, the fire dragon let out a long howl. Its voice shook all directions, but it was still powerless to resist in the end. It fell, descending into the darkness below. Su Xing's strike was complete. His figure slightly wavered as he hovered in the air. Before Su Xing could take a breath, he heard every sort of ghastly demonic scream. Su Xing spied out of the corner of his eye a large crowd of souls. He spotted that devil-like giant tentacle from just a moment ago had unexpectedly again charged up. This time, however, it was even more direct in moving to swat him downwards. The sound of the wind scraped painfully against his face. Su Xing promptly put up a defense. Heavenly Abyss spun into a shield of swords, letting out a completely white light. These disembodied souls were more and more numerous, like a storm. The mountain cave's black wind intensified, like an endless void about to devour Su Xing Fuck. Su Xing knew that if this continued, there perhaps would be no end. Immediately, the green light of the Langya flying sword spun in a circle, twisting apart the spirits. Then he used Heavenly Abyss as a shield, directly falling into the bottom of the cavern. He did not know how much time passed before an open area appeared as he arrived at a valley. Suddenly, a white square-shaped object appeared to the side of the road ahead. Su Xing's gaze focused. He stared at it, yet it was just a stone tablet. Upon it was carved 2 rows, 8 characters total. The black flame forbiddance. Disciplined soul, receive punishment. Upon seeing those 8 characters, Su Xing's brow wrinkled. His heart was increasingly uncomfortable. He wondered what happened to Shiyu. Although he had heard Lan Tianyu say Shiyu was locked inside for only a short time, a day would drag on like a year in this forbiddance. Hesitating a moment, he subsequently sneered. He lifted a foot and walked past the stele. Although that tablet appeared normal and innocuous, it apparently was a place that divided boundaries. After he passed the stele, he did not know how, but although the path still curved onwards, large slabs of flaming rock had appeared on either side. First, the green grass on the ground gradually faded, then the short shrubs, and finally even the originally dense forest on both sides slowly became sparse. Let alone that the ground had begun to crack, even the remaining few trees and branches unexpectedly became shriveled. This actually appeared as if the surroundings were in drought, as if the earth had been burnt to a crisp. Su Xing saw that this should be the volcano's bottom. What else was there if not the 99 Paths reality illusion array? Su Xing's mind brainstormed. He followed the narrow path and made the last turn. All of a sudden, his decisiveness could not help but be as shaken lost his body. In front of him appeared a large open space. A heat wave that came from who knows where blew over and hit him in the face. At the center of the open space was a large circular altar. It hung suspended in the air, and 13 pillars constructed of dark red stones stretched to a height of 3 zhang propped up the entire altar. Along the altar's inner edge were 12 dark red pillars. Each was wide enough that 2 people were needed to span it, and at the center was the thickest stone pillar. It looked to be at least 5 or 6 people wide. From far away, this altar was practically an enormous burning flame, sticking straight into the heavens. Su Xing stood under this altar. He was practically like a bug, extremely insignificant. Su Xing took a deep breath. This structure in front of him really was shocking, the work of gods, but perhaps it was fully worthy of being placed here. He could not imagine that there surprisingly would be such a grandly developed construct under a volcano. Powerful heat waves rolled and burned. Su Xing felt his strength quickly drain away, and the magic energy of his body seemed about to disappear completely. Just as Su Xing was preparing to fly to the top of the altar, suddenly, the altar's 13 pillars twinkled with light. An enormous star crest appeared in the center, and a flame ignited. The stones that seemed to suck in the entire altar's flames finally became a malevolent beast of fire. It was larger than ordinary fire beasts, and the gems that were its eyes were like a net. A red light flowed like blood. Stupid human, you dare step into this place. Are you so willing to die by me, roasting essence? This flame beast issued an awe-inspiring roar. It could speak human language? This actually made Su Xing very surprised. If he was not wrong, this ought to be this altar's guardian beast. The flame beast named Roasting Essence slowly strolled. It noticed Su Xing and proceeded to jeer. Can an insignificant supercluster middle stage cultivator kill me? Naive cultivator, the blood currently over this entire altar is your tomb. If you finished saying your last words, now's my turn. Su Xing smirked. His figure flashed, and spell arrays appeared in his hands. Roasting Essence roared. The ground suddenly let out a wall of shadow. The other flame beasts launched attacks. Su Xing pointed a finger. His flying swords were like 10,000 arrows fired at once, as more than 100 rays of sword chi swept clean the surrounding obstructions. Sharp blades followed upwards, and Su Xing also used his own ice-cold hands to rip apart Roasting Essence's powers. Two flame beasts disappeared, dissolving into the miserable night. Su Xing's hands cross-slashed. Two large-scale heavenly abyss arrays suddenly glowed in the darkness. A howling sound suddenly echoed. Two flame beasts surged forward. Nevertheless, Roasting Essence charged. Its body was a flame that could reduce anything to ashes with just the slightest touch. Su Xing sneered. His figure flew out, like a ray of light. Su Xing aimed at Roasting Essence's eyes. His fingers snapped, and a powerful purple mansion immortal thunder threw apart the surrounding smaller flame beasts as he shot directly at Roasting Essence's pupils. A red barrier rose like a net, and the purple mansion immortal thunder was quickly dissolved. Roasting Essence already arrived in front of Su Xing. It opened its big mouth. Su Xing was calm and composed. His hands once again crossed. The 12 heavenly abyss shut like floodgates. Roasting Essence slammed against them head-on, and when Roasting Essence finally beat Heavenly Abyss open, Su Xing had already destroyed the other flame beasts. Here's a gift. Su Xing once again launched Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder, and 10,000 bolts of thunder were released simultaneously. Roasting Essence bellowed like thunder. The launched Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder were torn apart by a visible shadow. Go! Su Xing ordered. The flying swords quickly retreated. Loud noises exploded behind him one after another. The shadow that Roasting Essence had created ruthlessly chased him like a viper. Without any chance to catch his breath, shadow-like murderous aura pressed in from all four sides. Roasting Essence's speed was simply suffocating. Su Xing's leg wound once again hurt. He slightly slowed, and then he heard Roasting Essence's shout. Got you now, cultivator! Su Xing's speed was already quick, but this flame beast Roasting Essence's speed was like gods and devils randomly appearing and disappearing. By the time he heard these words, scorching heat already began to his skin. Su Xing spun around, and only then did he discover the urgency of his situation. He had not refined many of his magic weapons, so he did not have any good magic weapons to use. He could only put everything on the line. Su Xing's eyes widened. He finally seized onto the faint red trajectory. He slashed with flying sword, directly stabbing into Roasting Essence's eyes. Roasting Essence roared. His figure wildly emitted malevolence. The vestiges of Roasting Essence's flames were sharper than a blade. Su Xing did not want to go bear this attack, so he withdrew his sword and retreated, a devilish grin hanging upon his face as he struck hand seals. Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder burst forth and eradicated his silhouette of flames, killing Roasting Essence completely. Before he could relax, Su Xing suddenly felt an extremely cold feeling spread from his neck up and down his whole body. Immediately, a trail of blood sprayed out from his carotid artery. Piping hot blood subsequently sprayed out of his other cold body parts in succession. Su Xing turned his head to look and immediately turned grave. An odd monster holding a weapon had strangely appeared. One hand held a whip, another a soul-absorbing trident. It appeared strange and grotesque, its whole body surging with blood chi and flames. Su Xing choked. Blood sacrifice soul-absorbing trident skin flaying torture heavenly whip. Isn't this the bloody Azura that escaped when I faced the gardener's murder in? 5. Now, the bloody Azura was full of strictness, just like a demon, but it had intelligence. Su Xing did not know how this bloody Azura appeared here, but it did not let him think. The bloody Azura already howled, recognizing its nemesis. It was exceptionally furious and immediately attacked. The bloody Azura originally took the fires of extreme earthly lung as nourishment and did not expect to encounter Su Xing. Without another word, it attacked. The next moment, the bloody Azura already flew past him, shooting directly towards the Su Xing in front of it with its weapons. This star beast did not have any excess movements. Its technique was incomparably fierce. Su Xing was left with no choice but to raise his right hand. In a split second, a giant half-moon-shaped Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder blade broke free of his arm. The purple blade's edge slightly distorted the air that was of a different density. This purple mansion immortal thunder continuously crackled. In the end, it became an air-ripping translucent rain. It completely sealed all of the bloody Azura's paths of movement, pouncing towards its prey with a shrill howl. But the bloody Azura apparently was ruthlessly cool and calm. Perhaps this kind of star beast completely did not know what fear was called after it went berserk. Taking advantage of after the fact, the soul-absorbing trident slashed apart the purple mansion immortal thunder's sneak attack. But Su Xing's attack had already arrived. Even without the heaven-tearing sword's combat power, Su Xing's boxing was still formidable. An annoying scene occurred. The bloody Azura shouted, and its body split into 7 or 8 shadows that appeared real. These shadows were not very threatening to Su Xing's attack, but what made Su Xing annoyed was that this split-second cloning nevertheless was instantaneous, displaying speed to the extreme. Regardless of how powerful attack was, it was for naught. The bloody Azura appeared to be not stupid. Facing Su Xing's oppressive punches, it continually used every sort of move to dodge. Suddenly, that skin-flaying torture heavenly whip in this bloody Azura's hand flew out, instantly drawing a brilliant blood-red light in front of it. The surroundings surprisingly rolled with an intense line of blood. Rolling over like a viper, Su Xing retreated. The next moment, the bloody Azura was already charging Su Xing at high speed. It unfolded its wings. Its speed was very fast, pulling its entire body into a specter, with even a bloody wind behind it. Su Xing basically did not withdraw. He made a powerful step forward, his pace very steady, completely fearless of the opponent's might before him. Instantly, both of them made contact already. An enormous force ran through. The bloody Azura was narrowly sent flying by this force. Although it immediately rushed in, it had already lost the initiative. Su Xing's pace pressed heavily onwards, his horse stance unflustered. One punch closely followed another. Although his speed was not very quick at all, each strike could target a different body part. He simplified any flashy movements. All of the attacks he used came on the heels of the one before, forcing the bloody Azura into a corner completely. But this normal punch nevertheless contained powerful strength. When he fought the first overlord, Su Xing himself had battled with strength star Lu Yuyu. At that time, he really was not thinking of playing hero. Rather, an exchange of blows with a true Phoenix Realm combat star general was very powerful in advancing himself. He benefited from even a few blows. Su Xing's state of mind was increasingly calm. His punches were neither urgent nor slow, but this attack absolutely did not look that simple or ordinary. Each punch and quick was heavier than the last. An astral wind had unwittingly rolled slowly up. The purple mansion immortal thunder had sublimated into his boxing, appearing very shocking. The bloody Azura promptly used the whip and soul-absorbing trident. Even if Su Xing's fists were powerful, he could not block a star weapon. Traces of blood appeared on his fists, making Su Xing's speed slow down. The bloody Azura seemed to have spotted its chance. Su Xing retreated backwards, spat out essence blood, and reversed golden gloves appeared on his fists. Then his smooth and flowing boxing technique was displayed. Each punch and kick seemed as easy as lifting weights, played down. Each strike carried a forceful astral wind. Shockingly, this was the essence of boxing. The rolling wind pressure struck the bloody Azura into a continuous retreat. Its eyes could not catch on, as if Su Xing's shadows were far more numerous than its own. Slowing, Su Xing's fists suddenly changed into claws, instantly grabbing hold of the bloody Azura's arm. Pulling it closer, he already completely entered the enemy's inside range. At such a close distance, any weapon would not function as usefully as a person's body. Su Xing had already lost count of the number of times he had used this, and he could be said to be an expert. Su Xing's entire person became a very frightening man-shaped weapon. Every part of his body was a weapon, particularly his shoulders. Exchanging continuous strikes, his enormous power was like a tidal wave that repeatedly attacked the bloody Azura's body. It knocked bloody Azura's weapon defense around like a puppet, completely leaving it unable to make any movements. It was caught in rigidity, and the two destined star weapons in its hands lost all usefulness. Even though it held it in its hands, It had no way to counterattack at all at such a close distance. It helplessly took the beating. Su Xing shouted out of all a sudden. He abruptly stomped the ground, and the surrounding surface seemed to roll like a wave, truly as if there was an earthquake. The altar tottered on the edge of collapse, and the flames rolled. Not good. Although the bloody Azura sensed it, it was unable to move. Its body seemed shudder all over, no longer able to maintain balance. Su Xing took this chance to immediately use a dragon punch. Power erupted, and a true spirit flew out from his fist that repeatedly struck the bloody Azura's chest. After several muffled thuds, in the end, it unexpectedly had a faint dragon cry. Immediately afterwards was the last strike. The bloody Azura once again became a cannonball, flying directly into the air. After it drew a parabola, it landed heavily onto the ground. Su Xing took a deep breath. His combat training was not in vain. His first action was very good. The bloody Azura jumped up and roared. It spat a green light, and the skin-flaying torture heavenly whip attacked. Then, black light flashed, disappearing without a trace. Su Xing whirled around, meeting the fierce counterattack of the bloody Azura that got back up. After battling with true Phoenix Realm Star General, the current bloody Azura's speed was merely so. Bang! Su Xing's silhouette abruptly spun around, and his iron leg swept ruthlessly like a whip at the bloody Azura's lower body. A loud noise was let out, and Su Xing's powerful strength once again took overwhelming advantage. The bloody Azura's body completely could not maintain balance, surprisingly directly sent flipping through the air. Intense pain instantly engulfed its whole body. The bloody Azura screamed. Firelight and bloodlight intertwined. The soul-absorbing trident was thrown even more directly. Su Xing's flying sword stopped it. The bloody Azura attempted to ripple the bloodlight over its whole body. Evil suppressing clear light suppressed the bloodlight. Su Xing drew near, lightning quick. Su Xing's body instantly spun in a circle, and his other leg already mercilessly stepped onto the bloody Azura's body, ruthlessly launching it away. Su Xing's eyes flashed with ice-cold light. Raising an escape technique, he followed like a shadow. A pair of iron fists were waved, fast as a meteor. A terrifying sound continuously resounded between the two. The bloody Azura's howls were increasingly loud, already completely unable to control itself. At a distance of more than several hundred meters, under Su Xing's wild attack, the bloody Azura could not even make any defensive maneuvers. It could only rely on its own sturdy as a mountain body to endure. Now, it finally knew how frightening the opponent it faced was. Intense pain made the bloody Azura basically unable to launch any counterattacks. The large expanse of bloodlight burst forth and sprinkled into the air. The crimson color was shocking to the eye, mixing into the fragments of dust fluttering in the air. Drawing a long bloody arc suddenly, he grasped the bloody Azura's forehead. Su Xing fiercely kicked it in the abdomen. The powerful strength kicked the bloody Azura practically into a line. The entire thing looked ghastly to the extreme. Great amounts of blood sprayed from it in all directions. Su Xing's fists once again used the dark technique Heaven and Earth reversed, curiously grabbing back the bloody Azura that was about to escape again. The bloody Azura felt itself very strange. Su Xing's instantaneous punch had already struck the blood Azura several dozen times in succession. His movements were linked together viciously. Exploding, following his attack progression, Su Xing's right hand violently threw it aside. Once again, he spun and forcefully threw his leg out. He mercilessly sent the bloody Azura flying like a cannonball, penetrating a stone pillar far away. It basically did not expect Su Xing as a star master surprisingly could be so frightening in close combat. The bloody Azura howled. In its fury, it blindly waved its weapons. Su Xing sneered. He grabbed it by the throat and struck the bloody Azura's face into contorting with his other fist. The bloody Azura's whole body was bloody. Its mouth and nose ran like rivers. A large amount of blood flowed and dripped continuously, as if it was a corpse. The blood's flow signified it was losing strength. The bloody Asura finally fell limply onto the ground. Its appearance was just like prey drawing its last breath, dying in grief. Perhaps the bloody Azura itself did not expect it would be beaten to the point that it was completely unable to retaliate by a Star Master. It struggled to rise, yet it was firmly trapped by Su Xing's fists. The bloody Azura saw that it could not beat Su Xing. Finally, it renounced thoughts of vengeance and spun around to flee. Its body let out a disgusting smell, spread its wings and flew towards the altar. Su Xing promptly pursued it. After several moments, halfway up the altar, Su Xing suddenly spotted a trapped girl. She was Shiyu. This isn't good. This star beast had an idea about Shiyu. Su Xing saw this and used the chaotic tail escape. The bloody Azura's eyes glowed. Just as it thought of eating Shiyu, suddenly, a bloodlight astonishingly appeared in front of it, evil as an Azura. Courting death. Su Xing's fingers snapped, and the flying swords attacked. The bloody Azura shouted. A sudden explosion. This star beast surprisingly committed suicide. Su Xing did not expect this bloody Azura to surprisingly carry out a self-destruct. The leftover power spread throughout the entire cavern. There was a rumbling sound. A dozen fire jade pillars were shattered. Just as the cave-in was about to bury Shiyu, Su Xing was too late to go retrieve the gardener and the female Yaksha's star weapons, instead quickly arriving in front of Shiyu. He noticed that due to the long time spent in scorching heat and illusion, the water illusion fairy had already lost consciousness. Su Xing snapped his fingers. The wide heavenly abyss shot over and became a cage-like shield that protected Shiyu from the falling rocks. Then, Su Xing carried the girl, rushing upwards. Countless fire dragon at this time soared out of the pillars, pursuing them. Old Mother Soulless gloomily looked indeterminately at Lin Yingmei and the other girls. Their illusion reality sex ancestors whispered in her ears. Old Mother Soulless grunted, and the murderous air in those deep-set eyes faded. Are you all that man's star generals? Old Mother Soulless asked. Lin Yingmei indifferently glanced at her, with not the slightest interest in answering. Wu Xinjie smiled. Are you saying that we cannot? How is this possible? How can the star duels have such an unreasonable thing? Old Mother Soulless grit her teeth, her hoarse voice somewhat sharp. Could it be that Maiden Mountain can begin allowing star masters to contract multiple star generals? And so what if it has? Wu Xinjie declined to comment. Truly preposterous. Is that not even better? This way, you can completely not need to worry about Shiyu. Wu Xinjie said. Would this old body believe a star master? Old Mother Soulless disdainfully said. Everyone knows that there can only be one star master that can survive the 7 stars assembly. This time is different. Do you take this old body for a 3-year-old child? Could it be that there are star masters who would refuse the wish of the star duels? Old Mother Soulless sneered. This old body advises you to come to your senses before it is too late. If you are deceived by that man, you will not be able to recover. Where did this old woman come from? What a mischievous tongue. Wu Xiao coldly smiled. Do you need your servant to help pluck it out? So as not to be so noisy. Old Mother Soulless was somewhat upset. In any case, had a super void cultivator like her ever been mocked? However, she knew that these fiend stars were formidable, and she remained gloomily silent. My young lord naturally is not as superficial as you. Wu Xinjie said faintly. Black Flame Mountain has 99 illusions. Without star generals at his side, how far can that man go? Old Mother Soulless said. She was just about to mock them when suddenly at this moment, a ray of light charged into the sky. This light was incomparably blinding. All of the illusion reality sex cultivators were drawn in by the light. With a look, they were immediately stunned. Impossible! Old Mother Soulless' smile disappeared. The escape light arrived before them. Who else could it be but Su Xing? At this moment, Su Xing carried Shiyu in his arms. His body cut somewhat of a sorry figure, with many wounds and burns, and the Shiyu against his chest remained unconscious. Big brother! And Suwen cried out in alarm and hastily rushed forward to heal him. You, old Mother Soulless faced Su Xing's eyes and was speechless. Can your servant take Shiyu away now? Su Xing calmly said. What else could old Mother Soulless say now? Even if she were to be forceful, that would have absolutely no possibility at all. Old Mother Soulless looked at Su Xing and sneered, Take her then. In the future, Shiyu naturally will regret today's decision. We will see who's right. Su Xing easily said. We are leaving. Old Mother Soulless snorted. She waved her cane, making the 100 disciples leave. Fellow, please take good care of elder sister Shiyu. Lan Tianyu turned her head back, reluctant to part. I will. Su Xing looked at the weak girl in his chest and slightly sighed. Just as Su Xing was about to leave, several powerful black escape lights came over. Su Xing was stunned. The other party also froze. Surprisingly, the newcomer was none other than Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. The current Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was seriously authoritative. He rode upon a dragon chariot. Maids raised lanterns and guardians held swords. He wore demonic black armor and a black dragon cape. His eyes were full of evil light, and the corner of his lips slightly curled. There were also 2 supervoid cultivators beside him. You, Purple Thunder Monster. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon called out. Before Su Xing could answer, Lin Yingmei's hand waved, and the Arctic Star Serpent Spear appeared in her grip. If we kill another of the Devil Star Palace's Star Masters, Xinjie wonders if that transforming star of annihilation level devil will go mad. Wu Xinjie giggled. Lin Yingmei, Wu Siyou, and Hunyangzi tacitly moved. How is this possible? Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was astonished. The 2 great supervoid cultivators raised their flying swords in defense. We are leaving. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon drove the chariot into escape without any hesitation. Lin Yingmei had not even planned to use her earth rank to end the battle, but this Holy Lord of Draconic Demon took the lead to flee like a wisp of sorry black smoke. Su Xing was disinclined to pursue. This was the Devil Star Palace's domain. Furthermore, he had just gone through the great battle of the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. Su Xing's side were all exhausted without having any rest. Su Xing did not want to make the beauties even more weary. He called back Lin Yingmei, and they moved north. Only after he could not feel killing intent did Holy Lord of Draconic Demon finally stop. He turned his head back to look. The expressions of the 2 great supervoid cultivators were somewhat disdainful. Is that the Purple Thunder Monster? The old men muttered. Exceptional as expected. He surprisingly has martial generals like Wu Song, Lin Chong, and Hu Sanung. Senior True Commandment, Senior Dread Bone. That is the purple monster who has contracted 5 or 6 star generals. This Holy Lord has battled against him before. He also has Gong Sun Xing, who is the #1 in magic energy. Holy Lord of Draconic Demon said through gritted teeth. He had originally thought that with the support of the Devil Star Palace, he could stir up trouble in the Black Turtle territory. How could he have thought that the first Star Master he would meet was surprisingly one he could not fight and had to run from? This honestly was extraordinary shame and humiliation. These star duels are rather too strange. True Commandment said. Old Man Dried Bone said, Maiden Mountain emitted a rainbow light anomaly a while ago. Could it be they have come for the Purple Thunder Monster? And that is reasonable. It would be better to return and report to Devil Ancestor for now. True Commandment said. Right, go ask around, why has that Purple Thunder Monster come to the Illusion Reality sect? As you bid. After giving his instructions, Ancestor Dried Bones smiled at Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and said, However, Your Highness Holy Lord's flight instead of fight just now honestly makes the Devil Star Palace lose face. If we were to allow Devil Ancestor to know, perhaps this would make Devil Ancestor disappointed. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's complexion changed. He hastily said respectfully, Your servant was ill-mannered. There will be no next time. Elder Dried Bones smiled. He spoke nothing more, but he sighed. These star duels have a variable like the Purple Thunder Monster. It looks like things are not quite fair. Shi Jingluan stood very straight above a dragon carving on the Nine Dragons Palace's highest place, overlooking Nine Dragon City. The large island's range of 100 li was completely taken into her eyes. Minute Star 9 tattooed dragons shut her eyes in contemplation. One hand held the yellow dragon staff level. After she spun the staff, she suddenly tossed the yellow dragon staff, and it became a yellow dragon that spun around Nine Dragon City, letting out a loud dragon cry, radiating yellow light. Nine Dragon City's populace each were in awe. A while later, the yellow dragon returned to Shi Jingluan's palm, turning into a staff. The Minute Star opened her eyes and licked her dry lips. Not enough, just a little more to comprehend the Earth rank. Shi Jingluan narrowed her eyes. Queen Jingluan. Tantai Ziyu stepped forward at this time. What is the matter? Young Lord Tianya has returned. I know. He has returned at the perfect time. Perhaps he can help me comprehend my Earth rank technique. Shi Jingluan was pensive. Queen Jingluan, young Lord Tianya is injured. Currently, he is healing in the main hall. Tantai Ziyu said. Minute Star Shi Jingluan came to the main hall. She spotted a refined man calmly laying in a chair with his eyes closed in thought. Above his head spun a green gourd. That gourd emitted several wisps of faint green immortal chi, lingering around Lu Tianya's whole body. A spirit light blinding to the eyes surged, and it appeared wondrous. Shi Jingluan knew this green gourd was called Green Nether Gourd, a prehistoric magic weapon. It contained green spirit immortal chi within and was capable of healing, nurturing and recovering spirit chi. This green nether gourd's spirit QI had limits. Ordinarily, even if Lu Tianya was heavily injured, he would hate to use it. Now, seeing him return to Nine Dragons Palace and unexpectedly use the green nether gourd, it appeared that his wounds were very serious. Interesting. Who is it that can make Super Void Sword Saint Lu Tianya cut such a sorry figure? Let me guess, Majestic Star Lin Chong? Shi Jingluan slightly smiled and walked over. Lu Tianya shut his eyes without answering. The green nether gore's light wafted, winding around. A moment alter, Lu Tianya already recovered his wounds. Not only this, the magic energy he had was also even more vigorous than before. This was the effect of the green nether gourd. It could help increase cultivation at the time treatment was performed. If you knew what your servant was up to, then you would not be so relaxed, Queen Jingluan. Lu Tianya shook his head. Shi Jingluan gave him a look that said, Did you think I did not know? I heard you used a change appearance pill and were called forth as a guest by the Crystal Dragon Palace. 2. The Crystal Dragon Palace's treasure banquet is about to begin. It can be assumed that you naturally did not go partying and reminiscing at such a critical time. And I have also heard that the Azure Dragon Territory's 10 great sects most recently secretly surrounded the Purple Thunder Monster. I wonder what the result of that was, Lu Tianya. Tell me then. Lu Tianya courteously smiled. As expected, nothing escapes you, Queen Jingluan. You privately violated Qingxi's arrangement to go kill the Purple Thunder Monster. Were you not afraid your irreverence would provoke a beauty's displeasure? Shi Jingluan thoughtfully smiled. She knew that the Super Void Sword Saint in front of her was deeply attached to Qingxi. It was a pity that this was completely unrequited. As a star general, things such as emotions were nothing more than a nuisance. That Purple Thunder Monster is a scourge. Not only does he have Lin Chong, he also has Wu Song and Hua Rong. Lu Tianya gravely said, What? Instantly, Shi Jingluan's smile vanished. Impossible. Lin Chong, Wu Song, Hua Rong, these elder sisters are each the finest. How can they be following the Purple Thunder Monster? How can what your servant has personally seen be false? Lu Tianya slightly smiled, appreciating Shi Jingluan's astonishment. If it was not for hero star little Li Guang Hua Rong comprehending her earth rank archery, your servant would have now already taken the Purple Thunder Monster's head. How can this be? Shi Jingluan was unable to believe such a preposterous thing. Even more surprising is what came after. Your servant did not go to the Azure Dragon Territory in vain this time. Lu Tianya's eyes narrowed into slits. He summarized the Bright Moon Longevity Palace's events. Between solving the Bright Moon Longevity Palace, Su Xing's dozen star generals, the defeat and failure of the 10 Great Sects encirclement, Su Xing's possession of excellent close combat capabilities, each of these made Queen Jingluan stupefied, unable to come to her senses. How can there be such a thing? Can it be said that man is the same as Qingzi, capable of the uprising? Shi Jingluan muttered. Queen, your servant has just received information. The purple thunder monster has appeared in the Black Turtle territory. Tantai Ziyu suddenly said. He has come to the Black Turtle territory? Shi Jingluan was stunned. These star duels are interesting. Lu Tianya faintly smiled. It was his turn to relax. Gong Kaiwei looked at the Shiyu against Su Xing's chest. Her brows unconsciously knitted together slightly. The immortal hero princess coldly said, Su Xing, we should part ways here for now. Kaiwei, you won't wait for the Longevity Palace? Gong Kaiwei gently shook her head. The Crystal Dragon Palace's treasure banquet is on the verge of starting. I also have to go back to the palace. We will meet at that time. Su Xing thought for a moment and agreed. Gong Kaiwei wanted to speak but nevertheless stopped. Su Xing oddly asked her what was wrong. Gong Kaiwei paused, slightly exhorting him, be more careful yourself. If you so require it for the matter of Maiden Mountain and the 10 Great Sects, I shall help you. These words made his heart somewhat warm. Su Xing smiled and nodded. After Gong Kaiwei left, Wu Xinjie winked and strangely said, Young lord, Xinjie has always been unable to understand how a person as cold as the immortal hero princess has such a good relationship with young lord. In the Knowledge Star's impression, the first time she saw Gong Kaiwei was in that tomb with the iron coffins. Afterwards, they made intermittent contact, but each time was short. With the immortal hero princess personality, she was very difficult to elicit a reaction from. Could it be that time in Flower Dragon Cave, something actually happened between young lord and the immortal hero princess? Wu Xinjie covered her mouth and snickered. Don't have random thoughts. And Kaiwei isn't that cold either. Su Xing said. Let's go plan our next step right now. The challengers of Maiden Mountain's trial aren't friendly. For the sake of avoiding Wu Xinjie's continued teasing, Su Xing changed topics. Once he mentioned this, Wu Xinjie showed seldom seriousness. Then, Su Xing entered the immortal's abode to recuperate his wounds. They finally had time to catch their breath after the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. And Suwen began to refine the 1,000-year tears with all her power, and Tang Lianxin helped her sisters forge astral treasures. Ever since Gong Sun Xing's Phoenix Perching Red Cloud's clothes, and Zhang Yuqi's Fish Intestine Sword shined in the Bright Moon Longevity Palace, the earthly solitary star decided to forge a custom one for all the sisters. This was obviously going to be a great feat of engineering. Thief Star Shi Yuan began to design her own prehistoric 5 concealed banners. The martial generals Lin Yingmei, Wu Siyou, Yan Yizhen, Hunyangzi, and Hua Wanyue had even simpler plans. They would train their realms. Although they were beginning the 4th phase with Extreme Realm, after learning through the might of the first overlord's true Phoenix Realm, all of the wives were unwilling to fall behind. Wait a moment. Since when was I one of this man's wives? Hua Wanyue was displeased at Wu Xinjie's phrasing during a sparring session. The Knowledge Star craftily smiled and shuttled from the immortal's abode to the Great Circle Castle to search for materials about the past star duels. Since they already knew that the trials were to be the previous overlords, Wu Xinjie naturally would plan ahead, the so-called know thyself, know thy enemy to emerge victorious through 100 battles. At the very least, to know the identities of the past overlords was fine, so as to avoid being caught unprepared. And as the husband to these beautiful wives, Su Xing's mission was considerably much more serious. Besides, refining some magic weapons being taught by Lin Yingmei and the others in martial force training had become an absolutely necessary assignment. He was repeatedly instructed by the Majestic Star, Harm Star, Skillful Star, Hero Star, and Bright Star. Across all of Liangshan continent, this was considered unprecedented, and his battle doctrine also advanced by leaps and bounds. To use the words of Tang Tang, who loved to brew wine, Sooner or later, there will be a day that Papa can surpass these elder sisters. Great Circle Castle. Chai Ling brought Wu Xinjie through a white jade corridor. The noble star's graceful waist made the imagination roam wild, and Wu Xinjie followed behind her with a teasing voice. Little sister Chai Ling, you have appeared very pleased as of late? Did something good happen? Knowledge Star, do you not know? Chai Ling looked back, smiling beautifully. Wu Xinjie shrugged her shoulders, wanting to hear the details. This palace naturally can annul the together to hell with that man. Her fan gently spread open, and Chai Ling's eyes narrowed into crescents. Chai Ling, you have found the location of the Tears of Vega? Wu Xinjie's brows rose. According to the information this palace obtained, this Dragon Palace treasure banquet will auction off a treasure known as 777. 777? Never heard of it. Wu Xinjie said. It seems to be a purple star-grade astral treasure obtained from one of this time's birth treasure outline purple star chests. Huh? A purple star-grade astral treasure? Wu Xinjie was taken aback. It was extremely rare for a purple star chest to show a purple star astral treasure. However, the astral treasures of these chests often were related to the star duels. In the past, the most famous was a twin stars button that came from one of these chests. Knowledge Star, you are so smart. Why not try and guess this 777's function? Chai Ling's eyes showed a cunning glint. Wu Xinjie stroked her chin and muttered, to make noblemen value it so much, it is apparently not simple. Is it a magic weapon to rescind contracts? Chai Ling smiled and nodded. Oh, this is actually convenient. Wu Xinjie said, Xinjie fears the Bright Moon Longevity Palace does not have the Tears of Vega, so this actually saves some trouble. However, this thing is to be used in the star duels, so this palace actually cannot meddle so easily. Knowledge Star, you had best have Su Xing obtain that item. Chai Ling's tone suddenly carried some seriousness. Wu Xinjie oddly smiled and said, is this not just annulling a contract? It is useless to other star masters. That would be fine if that was the case. This palace heard the Crystal Dragon Palace circulate a rumor. This 777 can annul the contract of any star general, and whoever obtains it can, rather than sign a contract, forcibly participate in the star duels. Chai Ling's eyes narrowed into thoughtful lines. Wu Xinjie was slightly stunned after she heard this. Chai Ling, are you joking? Annul the contracts of other star masters to forcibly participate in the star duels? Does that not mean, that is correct, steal someone else's star general? A slightly tantalizing smile flit across the corner of Chai Ling's lips. Elder Sister Knowledge Star, now you ought to be a bit more serious about its treatment? What's serious? This practically was a matter grave to the extreme. Wu Xinjie naturally knew that although they overturned the 10 great sects at the Bright Moon Longevity Palace, it was not easy to overthrow a collective power, let alone that a great sect like the Most High Path. To say they did not have these thoughts was impossible. Before the fourth phase 3 heavenly books began, they would not give up. Now that a purple star astral treasure like the 777 had emerged, without even the need to think it was obvious this was catastrophic if used against Su Xing, Wu Xinjie practically was unable to imagine that sort of thing could occur. That truly is interesting. It appears that Xinjie needs to be a bit more serious. Wu Xinjie sneered. You had best not think of going to contest at the Crystal Dragon Palace, or perhaps you could have Shi Qian go help you steal it. Chai Ling smiled. Whether the 777 is real or fake is yet to be seen. Perhaps this is a trick of the Crystal Dragon Palace all along. They always were fond of drumming up early support. Or perhaps this is a trap to trick you all. Xinjie naturally knows. But if such a good thing was given to the Purple Firmament Immortal Palace's Star Master, that simply is like a tiger that had grown wings. Wu Xinjie worried about this. This palace actually feels that Elder Sister's fears are groundless. For the Crystal Dragon Palace to be able to become Liangshan Continent's #1 treasure great sect, their prestige is still worth your relief. Chai Ling smiled. Since little sister Chai Ling has said so, then Xinjie can only wait until the day of the banquet. Wu Xinjie smiled. However, little sister Chai Ling said it could annul contracts just now. Come to think of it, you do not require my young lord to take action. Noble star little whirlwind nobleman must have a plan. Chai Ling smiled but did not reply. The doors to the Literary Reputation Pavilion were pushed open. More than 1 million books and scrolls were neatly arranged, forming an amazing space. Wu Xinjie felt overwhelmed. So many files? Wu Xinjie's face soured. If you wish to know the complete materials of the past star duels, this palace is confident these files will be of great help to you. Chai Ling rejoiced in her misery. Little sister Chai Ling, as the one who has ingested the together to hell with young lord, you will not remain indifferent, will you? Wu Xinjie giggled. Chai Ling said, this palace shall dispatch someone to help you. However, the important thing still is that best look over these yourself. In solving mysteries from the tiniest clues, who can compare to the knowledge star? Wu Xinjie nodded. Right, what is Xinger doing right now? Chai Ling pondered and asked. Young lord, perhaps he is enjoying being tenderly serviced by Ing, Xiao and the other little sisters right now. Wu Xinjie could not help but laugh. Chai Ling twisted her brow. Serviced. The words made her feel somewhat unhappy. Young Su, hurry up, there's still a lot more. Harder? Young Su, you're so aggressive. A sweet voice that made people red in the face came from the garden in the back of the palace. Shiyu's face reddened as she glanced at Zhang Feiyu. This clearly was Zhang Yuqi's voice. The little foul-footer cannot be doing that in broad daylight, right? Zhang Feiyu disdainfully said. The pair quickened their pace, walked through the paths, arriving at the back garden. The open grounds had a rock garden and a creek. At the same time, there were 3 figures quickly flitting about. 1 white, 1 black, and 1 purple, which were very eye-catching. They caused sparks to resound in the surroundings. On the surrounding footpaths sat several girls currently spectating. Among them, damaged star Zhang Yuqi just so happened to playfully gesture with the fish intestine sword. From time to time, she would notice something, and sometimes, she would heckle with words that would cause misunderstandings. Little sister, are you in heat? Zhang Feiyu saw at a glance that it turned out Su Xing was sparring with majestic star Lin Yingmei and harmless star Wu Xiyo, and she could not help but glare at Zhang Yuqi. Want big sis to help you settle down? Elder sister, you're all right. Zhang Yuqi threw herself over in pleasant surprise. Zhang Feiyu blushed, somewhat not too accustomed to her little sister's behavior. Is Su Xing sparring with Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiyo? Shiyu asked in astonishment. This appeared a bit unbelievable. In her eyes, top-notch martial generals completely could not be overcome by cultivators. Yes, young Su, he really is so bold. Zhang Yuqi feigned a charming lust. Sister Yingmei and Sister Xiao both are unable to endure young Su. 3. A ray of sword chi exploded beneath Zhang Yuqi's feet. Sister Xiao, be a bit more careful. Zhang Yuqi stuck out her tongue. Wu Xiyo glared at her. When she looked, she saw that Lin Yingmei had not received Zhang Yuqi's disturbance. She completely devoted herself into her training with Su Xing. As she thought this, suddenly, a sword light attacked. Wife, don't get distracted. Wu Xiyo waved her hand. The demonic frost demonic lotus cut apart the sword light, but immediately, Su Xing used light smoke dance steps to circle around behind her. Wu Xiyo's carelessness resulted in her being hugged by Su Xing from behind. Wu Xiyo could even feel Su Xing's scorching hot breath that floated past her ear. Accompanied by his tender words, Wu Xiyo bit her lip. But Wu Xiyo elbowed him. The sword chi blew backwards and forced Su Xing away. Lord husband, you should be more serious in battle. A beautiful figure flashed past Wu Xiyo's side. Before Su Xing could answer, the woman who was eternally serious in battle astonishingly arrived. Lin Yingmei's freezing spear directly cut the heavens. An ice-cold chill immediately enveloped the area. The girl shouted, her imposing aura fierce. Countless ice fragments shot out. Young master, take this. On the other side, Wu Xiyo also did not be neglectful. Her cool and elegant figure then followed on her heels. Su Xing was gentle, facing the teamwork of Liangshan's greatest martial generals. Boatman Zhang Feiyu could not help but be envious watching. Such a one dragon, two phoenixes. Elder sister, your words are even more suspect than mine. Zhang Yuqi stuck out her tongue. Zhang Feiyu pursed her lips, gazing at Su Xing with considerable envy. This man obtained Lin Chang's battle doctrine and can also possess this many top-notch martial generals for sparring. This is practically too corrupt. No wonder Maiden Mountain would hand him a trial. If it were me, I'd do the same. After leaving recuperation in the star nest, Ensuan explained to Shiyu the sequence of events. Maiden Mountain's trials were nothing to hide. Informing Shiyu was fine, to make the girl understand the danger by the side of the Su Xing in front, to make Shiyu decide for herself between danger and safety. Of course, Shiyu's decision was very direct. Zhang Feiyu's words attracted the ice-cold glare of Hunyangzi. How has Milord's martial arts progressed right now? Shiyu asked. Against an earthly star, little sister, they are not out of the question if they are not a four great heavenly king. He can fight them. Even if we bumped into another true Phoenix realm overlord, he can contest for several bouts. Hunyangzi said in a low voice, not hiding anything. Although against a true Phoenix he could only last several exchanges, this sounded inconceivable to Shiyu's ears. The true Phoenix realm was the highest realm for star maidens. Star generals that reached this realm could move about Liangshan unhindered. Shiyu is unable to help Milord. Shiyu sighed. Young Su was too late to protect you. Just help give him a blowjob, he doesn't want your protection at all. Zhang Yuqi teased. You little foul-footer, big sis will blow you one tonight. Zhang Feiyu glared at her. Shiyu's face was red, and all the girls perspired. At this moment, countless snowflake-like lights currently fluttered around Su Xing, as if they were a swarm of never-sleeping fireflies. Wu Xiao and Lin Yingmei's team attack assumed the pinnacle of beauty of black and white. The former was like a demonic lotus beautifully blossoming in ice and snow. The latter was icily arrogant, her spear thrusting. Su Xing showed a gentle smile. In passing, he attacked with Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder. Before the Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder could display its might, it was disintegrated by spearlight. Even though Lin Yingmei already meticulously suppressed the power of the 5-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear, it still carried unstoppable aggression. Lin Yingmei's pupils that could stir the soul entered his eyes. Her black pupils were clearer than the starry sky. At all times, she swept with formless lightning rolling away the thunder and clouds. That was the expression and tenderness that Su Xing was all too familiar with. Su Xing pointed, and Heavenly Abyss cut over. Spear and Heavenly Abyss clashed in the air for a moment. Lin Yingmei gracefully continued her advance. Su Xing evaded with a beautiful light smoke dance steps. Wu Xiao squeezed herself into this tacit world between two people. Harm Star Pilgrim used unhurried steps to circle around and attack Su Xing. Lin Yingmei knowingly kept up. The pair pincer attacked, and it looked like Su Xing could not dodge this. The clangs of metal echoed crisply in the air. Heavenly Abyss enormous sword tips suddenly became sword shields. The power of the swords forced apart their teamwork. The giant sword tips glowed with several cold lights around their owner's body. Lord Husband, this is the final attack. The corner of Wu Xiao's mouth heedlessly curled without her own notice. The Harm Star's figure vanished. Su Xing did not dare be careless, and Heavenly Abyss promptly returned to him. Lin Yingmei attacked at the same time. Powerful pressure made the surrounding spectating girls retreat. The force at the grounds swelled and rumbled. How could Heavenly Abyss stop the coordination of the two women? Their pincer attack immediately broke through before Su Xing's eyes. Noble Frost Demonic Lotus and the Arctic Star Serpent Spear crossed, and the degree of power made them unable to budge. The flying swords were breached, and Su Xing lost his greatest asset. Just at this moment, his hands pinched together. Suddenly, 2 bolts of purple chi shot out of his wrists. Those 2 purple chi appeared exceptionally abruptly, becoming 2 purple cloud true dragon. They surprisingly stopped Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiyo's imminent oppression. The purple chi maintained for several seconds before they broke, yet they nevertheless bought Su Xing a chance to catch his breath. Heavenly Abyss moved under Su Xing's control. Lin Yingmei's spear already stabbed, thrusting quick as lightning. The spear tip that had been repelled instantly counterattacked like a snake twisting its head, completely leaving no time for him to breathe. Another purple chi attacked, becoming a gust. But this timely assault still was unable to obstruct Wu Xiyo's pace. The harm star shuttled to and fro at lightning speed like a falcon. Even though she was occasionally forced into a corner by the purple chi, the double-ended sword's attack of pure speed was enough to rescue her. In the blink of an eye, a black figure and Lin Yingmei arrived together in front of him. The double-ended sword clasped in ice and frost suddenly slashed, carrying a blue light before Su Xing's eyes. Su Xing pointed, and the instant frost fire activated. Just at this moment, a multicolored light arrow suddenly fired and broke this frost fire. All of the girls turned their heads in shock. Hero star Hua Wanyue pulled her bow back as she stood atop a pavilion 100 meters away. Her posture was straight as an unyielding pine tree. Hua Wanyue, what are you doing? Hun Yangzi was taken aback. I am merely helping create a bit of a surprise for him. This is much more interesting. Hua Wanyue gently smiled. Wanyue, well said. Su Xing's laugh came from inside the intense battle. Hua Wanyue gently snorted and loosed a volley of arrows in succession. The arrow lights took beautiful trajectories, surprisingly mingling with those practically instantaneous gaps in Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiyo's coordinated attacks. Their degree of precision made even Wu Xiyo quite shocked. Hey, this isn't good. Su Xing leaned and evaded in surprise, but this retreat was immediately useless. An ice-cold spear already blocked him from behind, and at the same time, Wu Xiyo now continued to keep up. She was practically nose-to-nose with Su Xing, the double-ended sword pinning him from the front. From an outsider's perspective, Su Xing had been wrapped up like a dumpling by the two absolutely beautiful women. Young master, you became complacent. Lin Yingmei retracted her spear. Su Xing wiped his sweat. Today's sparring session consumed much of his energy. I wonder when I'll finally be able to catch up with you. Su Xing sighed. A 5-star general was formidable, as expected. Su Xing had fought too many times to count, but each time he sparred with Lin Yingmei, he always had a sort of feeling that he was not as strong as he wished. Lin Yingmei calmly approved. As long as young master is willing to work hard, there will finally be a day where young master will surpass your servant. Then I must thank wifey for the encouragement. Su Xing pecked Lin Yingmei's cheek, and then he kissed the ear of the objecting Wu Xiyo as quick as lightning, making the two cool and elegant beauties red in the face. Wanyue, want one? Su Xing waved his hand. Hua Wanyue glared at him. She turned around and disappeared from the top of the pavilion. Her departure was more hazy than smoke. Repairing the courtyard, Su Xing and the others walked toward Shiyu. And Suwen stepped forward and used spiritual aura distribution as usual to replenish Su Xing's energy. She even wore a gentle smile and said, "Big brother, you worked hard," which made the watching Zhang Feiyu envious to death. Just how was this man able to hold a beauty in his left and right hands, to enjoy the life of a man with multiple lovers? She looked again to her master, water illusion fairy Shiyu, who was completely enthralled. "Shiyu, are you better?" Su Xing asked her with concern. "Milord has saved Shiyu once again." 11 Yu smiled and said, "Saving people is a very normal instinct for a person. Shiyu, if you continue to treat it as meaning something else, I won't be happy." Su Xing deliberately stiffened his face. Shiyu tenderly nodded. "Your servant knows." Zhang Feiyu rolled her eyes. Was this even the same water illusion fairy that held men in contempt? Right, what was that purple chi you used just now? Zhang Feiyu wrinkled her brows and asked. Zhang Feiyu had never seen that strange purple chi. Besides, it was also abnormally powerful, to unexpectedly be able to contend against a 4-5-star destined weapon for several seconds. That is Purple Star Transforming Chi's Purple Fiend. Su Xing explained. Purple Star Transforming Chi? Purple Fiend? Purple Cloud True Star was the true chi that Su Xing used to refine the heavenly spirit earthly fiend purple star flying swords, with the 4 stages of transforming chi, True Star, Purple Fiend, and East approaches. After going through a long time of cultivation, Su Xing's efforts were finally rewarded. In these 2 days, the Purple Star transforming chi reached Purple Fiend. Compared to the Purple Mansion, Immortal Thunder formed from the combination of True Star and the Blooming Water Divine Thunder, Purple Fiend True Chi was even more surly. Su Xing reckoned that even if a Supervoid cultivator were to touch the Purple Fiend, they would perhaps be left in a difficult position. However, the flaw of the Purple Fiend was obvious. Its star energy consumption was too great. Now, Su Xing's supercluster middle stage left him completely incapacitated with just several uses. Zhang Feiyu's mouth mumbled several words. From her lips, she seemed to say, "Fuck, this man is really abnormal. Your servant did not dishonor her mission with this longevity steel." She used white finger pointed, and a damaged golden tablet floated into the air with golden light. The final longevity steel did not make Su Xing happy. Instead, he deeply sighed. "I truly implicated you this time, Shiyu. This is something your servant ought to do. Milord's aloof words make your servant very disappointed." Shiyu showed a hurt expression. "Your servant even lost Milord's black turtle seal." Su Xing scratched his head. There was no easy answer, and if it's lost then. There are lots of prehistoric spirit treasures in the Longevity Palace. If you like it, don't hesitate to take it. Your safety is also very important, Shiyu. Your servant knows. Shiyu obediently answered. Su Xing's hand pointed. The remaining 8 longevity steels flew out and whirled about. It seems I'm unable to assemble to longevity steel inside the immortal's abode. Looks like we'll have to go outside. Su Xing imbued his divine intent, and the longevity steel transmitted a bit of information that made him feel odd. This longevity steel was a bit unordinary. Everyone left the immortal's abode. Fortunately, the Black Turtle territory was so vast. The immortal's abode Su Xing opened in the Black Turtle territory was remote in the Endless Sea, and he was not afraid that others would disturb him. "Are we not waiting for elder sister Xinjia's return?" And Suan asked. "Xinjia is very busy. Let's not trouble her. This is only assembling the longevity steel." Su Xing shook his head. All of the girls felt the same. Su Xing began to form hand seals. The 9 longevity steels gathered into a profound formation. The golden light on the tablets flickered, and countless characters flew out. The damaged steels began to flawlessly set together piece by piece. Instantly, they formed a complete steel. His whole body's magic energy was continuously sucked away. With a grave expression, Su Xing continuously formed hand seals. The longevity steel abruptly grew in size from several inches, exploding to a size more than 1,000-fold. In the blink of an eye, it became the size of a towering mountain. The steel rumbled and quaked. Su Xing broke out in a cold sweat that made Suan and the others on edge. A long while later, after Su Xing formed another hand seal, that longevity steel released 10,000 zhang of golden light. The world was enveloped in a golden cloud, and the enormous golden clouds in the sky were like surging tidal waves, as if the entire sky had been stirred. Something was about to break out of the sky, stunning everyone. A rumbling roll of thunder. The golden clouds slowly dispersed. A colossal palace that seemed to obscure the heavens appeared before everyone. Liked it? The sky above the ocean violently trembled for a moment. A palace that occupied a range of 100 li emerged from the palace. It had golden halls and jade pillars, silver characters and pearl stairs, with flickering splendor, wrapped in millions upon millions of rays of multicolored rays of light and propitious vapors. They could only vaguely make out its true appearance. Su Xing looked at the girls in shock. Suddenly, without any hesitation, he flew up on a riding sword. Flying for a long while, he finally arrived above the palace. When he looked down over the entire palace, Su Xing could not help but take a deep breath. This palace was magnificent, completely made of white jade. It was the size of approximately 10,000 mu. Pavilions, jade steps, carved railings, pearl rooms, fine jade, vast spaces of reflective colored glass that were very spectacular. Upon closer inspection, this palace's interior had a towering green mountain. It had beautiful green creeks, silver waterfalls, splashing flowing rainbows, white clouds and purple smoke. Every sort of beautiful scenery and the palace had blended together into one. Even paradise in his dreams did not compare. The 9 longevity steels had transformed into 9 enormous imperial halls, arranged according to the Bagua. The center had a particularly large palace. From far away, it was like a towering mountain, more than 100 zhang tall, 1,000 stairs escalating straight up, winding, forming a very densely packed scene. What made people gasp in amazement was the pressing spiritual power of the palace. The entire thing hung above an enormous mountain. Hung all over up and down, it was an odd Bagua array. Su Xing sized it up. This palace had a mountain gate, staircase, altar, and pavilions, which practically was an all-inclusive imperial residence. Its level of gorgeousness made even the great Liang dynasty's imperial city pale in comparison. Such a spectacular landscape not only shocked Su Xing, even the other star maidens were completely stunned, a rare sight. This is... Su Xing looked around this giant thing, feeling no signs of life at all. Let us go take a look. Wu Xiao then sprung down. Su Xing also guided the dragon boat down. The palace had a barrier, with pervasive multicolored lights everywhere, propitious vapors bubbling forth, mist in the air, and mysterious sounds entering the air. Not only did it not allow them to remain calm, on the contrary, they felt nervous. The multicolored lights were glaring, brilliant and varied, also making them unable to make sense of their orientation. Clearly, that palace's inside was an extremely powerful array. Tang Lianxin activated the charms on her Heavenly River Star riding boat. Everyone worked together to operate its abilities, particularly with Su Xing's purple fiend turning into a true dragon to open a path. These vapors and lights could not stop him. Very quickly, they broke out of the multicolored lights. What entered their eyes was that giant imperial palace at the center of the Bagua array eye. The group descended onto the courtyard in front of the palace. At the center of the palace, they felt even more insignificant. Tang Lianxin leaned down and felt the blue stone floor. She wanted to see what this material was. Did you find out? Su Xing asked her. This is blue jade tile. Tang Lianxin exclaimed. Su Xing was also shocked to hear this. Blue jade tile was Liangshan continent's precious blue stone. This stone gathered moonlight and refined it into a blue color. Using this kind of blue jade to construct an array was half the effort with double the result. Thus, it was called the blue jade tile. However, blue jade tile was practically extinct in Liangshan continent. Only some of the larger sects would sparingly use blue jade tile to set up a few arrays and forbid dances to watch over their sections. Legend said that the clear void most high paths, 3 Clarities Peak, palace was constructed using blue jade tile, its value extraordinary. If they looked closely, for a material like the blue jade tile to already be used to make the floor, this was incomparably extravagant. Also, they saw that the blue jade tiles were adorned with every sort of ancient beast mark, with added refinement. Tang Lianxin then looked at the white jade pillars. The jasper jade reliefs were each constructed of top-notch materials that were long gone from Liangshan continent. This style left even the great Liang dynasty in its dust. Everyone stepped forward 100 paces. They spotted lotus ponds. The pond water was clear, the green lotuses swayed. 2 staircases lined the sides of the lotus pond. After they ascended, there was another courtyard. The center was arranged with red tiles. Above was a sculpture of a dragon swimming through a sea of clouds. Passing this courtyard, there was another pond of green lotuses and a bridge. Finally, they spotted the palace in the center. This palace was surprisingly tranquil. The surroundings were 2 steeply rising green peaks, splashing with waterfalls. Above the front gate was a sign that was carved with 3 characters, Weiyang Palace. 2. These three characters were drawn immaculately, beautiful as water. Each and every stroke was elegant and brilliant, making them unable to help but relax. Weiyang Palace? Su Xing's mouth hung agape. Isn't this that palace from Liangshan continent's legendary 9 firmaments, Xiannu? Su Xing vaguely still remembered this legend. Shi nodded. So it turns out the legendary Bright Moon Longevity Palace itself is surprisingly the Weiyang Palace. Hua Wanyue showed surprise. This palace's beauty honestly made her enthralled. Where did the longevity steel go? Zhang Yuqi asked. Let's go look. The Weiyang Palace was extremely large. 8 of the palaces were arranged according to the Bagua. Everyone split off into their own smaller groups. So as to avoid any hidden dangers the Weiyang Palace had, each group had at least one martial force general as top-notch guard. Tang Lianxing and Hun Yangzi went to the Sword Tempering Pavilion while Suen and Lin Ningmei went to the Night Cactus Hall, and it went without saying that these were halls related to tool refinement and medicine refinement. The remaining Classic Scriptures Hall, 3, Evil Smiting Pagoda, and Longevity Platform were each explored by those that wanted to. Su Xing carried by Yutong along with skillful star Yanizhen who did not stray an inch from his side to the center's Weiyang Palace, with even Hua Wanyue coming along. The 9 Bright Moon Longevity Palaces that had descended into the mundane world were originally luxurious, but he did not expect it would truly feel a bit like an insignificant trifle compared to the Weiyang Palace. This palace has seen its share of time, but it has been remarkably preserved. This is completely a palace hall of Star World. Hua Wanyue indifferently looked about. The hero star that had always possessed an eye for the beautiful and refined could not help but praise it. But I wonder who left this behind. Su Xing said. In legend, the 9th firmament Xiannu lived in the Weiyang Palace. It would be interesting if we actually can bump into that 9th firmament Xiannu who rules Maiden Mountain. 9th firmament Xiannu? How do you know that she is the ruler of the star duels? Hua Wanyue twitched her lips, not accepting this. Chao Gai said it, so it can't be wrong, right? Su Xing still remembered Chao Gai's first descent was on orders of Xiannu of the 9th firmament. Chao Gai. I actually want to meet her. Hua Wanyue sneered. You'll meet her sooner or later. Answering her, Su Xing and the others began to search through the halls. They saw no one else, and circling through, they returned to the front of the Weiyang Palace. Suddenly, Gong Sun Huang emerged from the star nest and sat on Su Xing's shoulder. Elder sister Little Huang. Bai Yutong rubbed her unfocused, sleepy eyes. Little Huang nodded at her. Bai Yutong again drilled her face into Su Xing's chest and fell asleep. These past 2 days, she had adapted every sort of wine brewing material, which actually made the little lowly very tired. Now, like a white rat, she only wanted to sleep well in Su Xing's embrace. Her essence spirit rat also cutely laid atop Bai Yutong's head and napped, a scene which made people smile. Your Highness there. Gong Sun Huang hung a very faint smile and shook her head. The leisure star pointed to a platform on the main hall, hinting at it. Su Xing, Hua Wanyue and Yan Yizhen looked over, but there was nothing too different at all. Gong Sun Huang pointed, and a bolt of star magic shot out. With a huala sound, as if there was the sound of dry vegetation being ripped apart, that slightly convex platform suddenly wafted with fragrance. A multicolored light surged, and an array of the sun, moon, and stars appeared on the platform. Star Transferring Moon Shifting Array. Hua Wanyue recognized this array's background. Does the Weiyang Palace hide another palace? Truly tricky. The hero star stepped forward into the Star Transferring Moon Shifting Array without even thinking, instantly vanishing. Su Xing then followed. What appeared before Hua Wanyue was an odd space. The surrounding cold stars twinkled, and the space manifested several palaces, with stars as a bridge, with moonlight as a sea. You aren't afraid this array would be dangerous? A man's voice entered her ear. Then why did you want to follow me in? Hua Wanyue cast a glance at him. What else but because I was afraid you were in danger? Su Xing answered. Hua Wanyue was taken aback. She valiantly raised her head. Do not say those pleasant words to me. Your way or the highway? Su Xing placed his gaze on this peculiar space. More than a dozen floating palaces made for a feast for the eyes. Seeing the palace flow with starlight, it was blinding to the eyes. These palaces are perfect to use as bedchambers. Su Xing praised. These bedchambers actually made Su Xing enraptured. Although his immortal's abode was good, that palace was extremely pitiful compared to the Weiyang Palace. The man finally says something nice to hear. Hua Wanyue faintly smiled. It was obvious she took a great fancy to these palaces. After the Weiyang Palace appeared, the other beauties already returned in succession from the other palaces to the main plaza. All of the girls summarized the situation to Su Xing. They did not find any anomalies, and it appeared the Weiyang Palace was indeed deserted, but the longevity steel nevertheless was not found. Even the longevity cultivation method was gone, which made them feel odd. As far as divination was concerned, knowledge star Wu Xinjie was far more adept than he was. They could only wait until she returned. Right, elder sister Xiao and I noticed a very interesting place, and even elder sister Xiao is interested. Young Su, you definitely will like it too. Zhang Yuqi craftily smiled. What place? Su Xing was somewhat interested in what could make Wu Xiao moved. Everyone looked at Wu Xiao. The harm star's face was somewhat flushed, her expression surprisingly was somewhat dodgy. Wow, what is it, elder sister Xiao, to surprisingly make elder sister Xiao bashful? Shi Yuan shouted in an over-exaggerated manner. Lin Yingmei and Hun Yangzi showed curious expressions. Nothing, that place is not worth a mention. You all do not need to mind the damaged star's babbling. Your servant is not interested. Wu Xiao's words betrayed her heart. Little sister, what palace did you go to? Zhang Feiyu asked. The place sisters can bathe in. Zhang Yuqi snickered. All of the girls perspired. The Jasper Moon Palace was located at the Kin 5 position of the Bagua. This was a considerably spacious palace, and the inside did not have too many decorations. However, there was a public bath. This pond water surface was clear and limpid, reflecting the moonlight. The bath was like the dew of immortals. A Huaqing pool. Shiyu recognized this water. The Huaqing pool enriched immortal water by taking in moonlight. Regardless of who bathed within, they could be born again, extend their life, and it was even helpful in advancing cultivation. Su Xing also remembered that he had seen one before at the Devil Star Palace. That time, Great Blade Guan Ying just so happened to be recovering her wounds with the Huaqing pool. The result was that something embarrassing happened between them. Now, Guan Ying was already trapped in the pagoda, out of the star duels. Everything seemed like a dream, making him sigh. Young master, what are you thinking of? Lin Yingmei interrupted Su Xing's contemplation. Su Xing returned to his senses. He suddenly noticed all of the girls were ravenously looking at him. From those pressing expressions, they clearly very much wanted to enter the water. I'll step back. You girls can wash first. Su Xing smiled. Young Su, who let you step back? Zhang Yuqi gently smiled. She wished for the whole world to be in chaos. Since young Su is our contractor, we naturally need to bathe together. Does any sister oppose? The damaged star looked around at all the sisters, craftily winking. All of the girls were bashful. They finally understood why Wu Xiao would be red in the face just now. As it turned out, they had already decided, and the girls had absolutely no reason to oppose. A married couple's bath? The Hua Wanyue who had been preparing to enjoy the Huaqing pool was dumbstruck. Bathing together? Hua Wanyue's delicate body shuddered. Compared to this, what was even more unbelievable to her was that this shameless idea came not from Su Xing, but unexpectedly from Zhang Yuqi's mouth. This Huaqing pool has absorbed 1,000 years of moonlight and has never been polluted. This is the first opening. If we bathe together, it will be very beneficial for stronger star nests, so of course we have to bathe together. Zhang Yuqi said resolutely. The contract between Star Master and Star General was considered spiritual, but it was not impossible to receive the influence of outside factors. Compared to that very famous perfect harmony realm, this could bolster their connection with one another. The Huaqing pool was originally capable of nurturing star generals. Something like a powerful star nest was not really nonsense, Zhang Yuqi blurted out. Hua Wanyue noticed that something was a bit off. I am not this man's star general, why must I bathe together with him? After she said this, the hero star fell silent. This longevity palace belonged to this man. For him to wash first was only logical. Don't tell me that elder sister doesn't want to exploit this 1,000-year immortal water to increase her own strength? This can help young Su in the future. Zhang Yuqi giggled. Zhang Shun, have you got things wrong? When did I ever say I helped him? To me, he has done. Hua Wanyue defended herself. Done what? Everyone was curious. Hua Wanyue's face turned red. How could she say that incident out loud? Yuqi, let's not. You girls wash first with Wanyue. I'll just wait. Su Xing said to help her out. Although taking a married couple's bath with all of the girls was the greatest thing in his life, he had practiced dual cultivation. It would be hard to control an embarrassing misfire. Dear husband, this is also good for the sisters. Hunyangzi spoke. The bright star's position was very clear. This, Su Xing looked to the girls again. Lin Yingmei naturally did not need to say anything. Yan Yizhen's expression was indifferent. The maid did not mind this sort of thing at all. This also was not the first time Su Xing would have bathed together with Gong Sun Huang and Bai Yutang, so this was even more inevitable. Shi Yuan and Su Xing's relationship was at the final step, so naturally, she absolutely agreed. And Su Wen was considered the most guarded, but she merely remained bashful and did not refuse. Tang Lianxin pondered. With so many of the sisters agreeing, she had no reason to shrink back and also agreed. Don't delay anymore. Since the Jasper Moon Bowl was opened, if we don't hurry, this 1,000-year spiritual water will lose its light. Zhang Yuqi craftily looked at Hua Wanyue. A conspiracy, a blatant conspiracy. Hua Wanyue's complexion slightly changed. She gazed at Wu Xiao. Wu Xiao, could it be you agree? What Zhang Yuqi said is logical. A pond with 1,000 years of spiritual power naturally is most suitable with all of us together. Wu Xiao was red in the face, feigning an ice-cold expression. Besides, Hua Wanyue, you need not worry. Lord Husband naturally will not take advantage of you. Lord Husband, when that time comes, would you please cover your eyes? Wu Xiao asked Su Xing. Su Xing was startled, but he nodded. It seemed he had no reason to refuse. What a pity that Sister Xinjie isn't here, but now, this young lady shall be the early bird. Shi Yuan giggled. She was impatient to strip Su Xing of his clothes, like a female wolf. Elder sister, are you coming along too? Zhang Yuqi asked Shiyu. May I? Shiyu was taken aback. Of course you can. Shiyu looked to Zhang Feiyu. The boatman pursed her lips. Since Wu Song is not afraid, then what have I, Feiyu, to be afraid of? I just so happen to be curious as to how plentiful brother-in-law Su Xing's assets are. Will he treat my little sister unfairly? Elder sister. Zhang Yuqi was embarrassed. The boatman's directness made the shy girls even more bashful. The Huaqing pool very quickly exhibited a very sensual scene. The girls were timid, undressed, each of their perfectly exquisite bodies fully displayed. Hua Wanyue nevertheless did not undo her underskirt at all. Even if Su Xing's eyes were covered by a black towel, the hero star was convinced his eyes could see through. Let alone that hero star little Li Guang was chaste and moral, how could she bathe in the same bath as a man? This practically disgraced her name. Seeing the girls all enter the spring, although Hua Wanyue was regretful about the 1,000 years of moonlight spiritual power this Huaqing pool accumulated, she had no choice. She faced Su Xing, gently opened her red lips and spat out 4 graceful words. You are so shameless. Su Xing covered his eyes and entered the water. His view was pitch dark. Even so, Su Xing's sense organs still could perceive the Huaqing pool's dubious situation. The girl's delicate fragrance pounced into his soul. Su Xing could even rely on this scent to differentiate who was who. Wu Xiao originally was somewhat not too accustomed. Her body was still covered with silk underwear, however, following the Huaqing pool's immortal water moistening her skin, Wu Xiao turned calm. Her underwear fell off, revealing an impressive figure, which left Shiyu's eyes staring. All of the girls enjoyed the Huaqing pool's 1,000-year immortal water. The atmosphere was quiet enough to hear the slight sounds of breathing. Zhang Yuqi and Shi Yuan's personalities were a bit excitable. They could not stand such silence. After the damaged star took a short time to adapt, she swam about like a mermaid. Shi Yuan's gaze craftily spun about. She glanced at Su Xing and dove into the water. Su Xing's eyes were closed in rest. His back suddenly cooled, and a supple body stuck itself against his. The contact of two soft bumps made Su Xing's blood boil. A pair of hands extended towards his lower body from behind. "Yuaner, don't misbehave." Su Xing grabbed her hands and moaned in pleasure. Su Xing, how did you know it was me?" Shi Yuan said in shock. Her supple hands groped a bit. "Su Xing, you obviously felt very good. Each of you have your own characteristics." Su Xing affirmed. "Really?" Shi Yuan was unconvinced. "When have I ever tricked you?" Su Xing smiled. Shi Yuan's eyes rolled. "Su Xing, wanna make a bet?" "What bet?" "Let's bet, Su Xing, whether or not you can tell us sisters apart. If you get it wrong, then you have to satisfy one of this young lady's requests." Shi Yuan's eyes glinted. "Fine." Su Xing thought this was fun anyways. "Su Xing, you can't cheat. If you lose, you have to sleep with Yuaner tonight." Shi Yuan giggled. Su Xing perspired. "Shi Yuan, what did you say to Lord Husband just now?" Wu Xiao had continually paid attention to Su Xing and cast a bewildered glance at Shi Yuan. "It's like this." Shi Yuan summarized everything. All of the girls gathered. After they listened to Shi Yuan, their brows furrowed. "Can Milord recognize us without using his eyes?" Shiyu was curious. "Elder sisters, let's go test Su Xing." Lin Yingmei hesitated. "This cannot be good, right? Can it be that elder sister Yingmei doesn't want to know the degree of recognition Su Xing has for elder sister?" Su Xing recognized little sister. Shi Yuan giggled. "Yuqi also wants to know the share of young Su's heart each of us has." Zhang Yuqi egged her on. The girls cheerfully crowded together. Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao looked at each other. Unable to restrain their curiosity, they followed along. Just as Su Xing was resting, a petite and delicate body sat against his chest. "Little Huang." Gong Sun Huang crossed her arms. Her long hair ran down as she gently grunted. This was not the first time Gong Sun Huang took a married couple's bath with him, so Su Xing was more accustomed. Hearing some noise, he asked, "What are they saying?" "They want to come test if your highness can tell them apart." Gong Sun Huang said. They actually agreed. Su Xing smiled. Just as he was chatting with Gong Sun Huang, he heard Shi Yuan say, "Su Xing, let's begin right now. You really caused trouble." Su Xing nodded. Just as Su Xing was wondering how they would test him, he heard a bashful laugh, then the sound of water shifting. There was also Shi Yuan's envious voice. "Elder sister little Huang actually is very close to Su Xing, but don't tell him." Scorching hot skin stuck onto him from behind. Su Xing was taken aback. "Young Su, quickly guess." "Which sister?" Zhang Yuqi smiled. Su Xing was very dizzy. He did not expect them to use such an audacious method. The sensation of girls' towering and impressive twin peaks was clearly felt, making Su Xing's frisky. He took a deep breath. Her fragrance lingered. "Yuana." Su Xing smiled. From behind him came the beauty's displeasure. "That's so lame. This young lady thought she could even catch you off guard." "Elder sister, your turn now," Shi Yuan said. A moment later, as before, a supple and soft body stuck tight against his. Her body's scent was somewhat unfamiliar. He could clearly sense the bashfulness of the beauty behind him. "Shiyu?" Su Xing was surprised. Shiyu bashfully grunted. This was the first time she had intimate skin contact with Su Xing. Her heart was very nervous. No way. This young lady even said it was an elder sister. "Su Xing, How did you know she was Shiyu? Shi Yuan dejectedly said. She had originally thought she could use this sort of trick to be able to trick Su Xing. Shall we go on? Su Xing smiled. The other elder sisters haven't been tested. Shi Yuan grunted. She swam beside Ying Mei and whispered into her ear, handing over a spice bag. Ying Mei nodded and calmly walked over. What did you say to Ying Mei? Hunyangzi curiously asked. This young lady surmises that Su Xing is using our scent to tell us apart, so this young lady handed elder sister Ying Mei a spice bag. Perhaps that is not the case. Hunyangzi said. Su Xing was honestly too familiar with Lin Ying Mei, particularly those slender beautiful legs that he immediately recognized with only a gentle touch. However, he savored Lin Ying Mei's hug from behind. Su Xing did not say so immediately, and he even pretended to think for a long while. Only when he was exposed did he laugh. Each and every one of the girls' naked bodies stuck against Su Xing's from behind. Their plump sensation, their supple skin, and dripping wet skin made Su Xing fully savor their absolute beauty. The beauties took turns trying to fool him, even adding in Tang Tang, but they still were deduced by Su Xing without a single mistake. Wu Xiao received the atmosphere's influence and played the guessing game. However, Su Xing and her already had a married couple's bath situation. Even at that time, they were more intimate than now. Her plump breasts pressed together onto his back. Su Xing then recalled that matter of perfect harmony from before. All of the sisters had been thoroughly deduced by Su Xing. Shi Yuan's heart had a sense of urgency. She spotted Zhang Feiyu and gleamed. She was not Su Xing's wife. He should not be able to deduce this. Zhang Feiyu heard Shi Yuan's request. She declined to comment and left the question to Shiyu. Feiyu, if you do not mind. Shiyu softly said. Fine. Feiyu, am very bored. Wu Xiao stuck her own chest onto him anyways. What have I have to be worried about? Zhang Feiyu's red hair was like fire, her expression alluring. The corner of her lips wore an evil grin. Zhang Yuqi and her elder sister swam over with tacit understanding. She personally watched her elder sister stick her body to him, one hand even deliberately caressing Su Xing's chest. This honestly was incomparably brazen. Zhang Yuqi's face reddened, but she quietly stood nearby, breathing to misguide Su Xing. This time, as expected, Su Xing immediately hesitated. They are tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.